And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Grace and peace, everybody. Happy Thankful Thursday to you. I appreciate you all stopping by, jumping into the best live chat on the internet. And you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. You know what we're about to do. This is our Thursday. We're going to be checking out Candace's live stream whenever she decides to post the video. So we will be jumping in at the current moment. She has not announced it yet, so I'm going to assume she's probably going to start at like 5:15. Usually when she hasn't posted this late, it's usually going to be around 5:15. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, grace and peace, everybody. Thank y'all so much for jumping in. I appreciate y'all. Let me know what like number you are up in the chat. All these good people have already popped in. So we've been starting the week off, and I think this might become a trend. We've just been starting the week off with a video that's really, not associated with Candace or any of the drama or anything like that, just for, kind of cleanse our palates, kind of get our minds in the right kind of head, get our heads in the right headspace, right? So we've been looking at body cam footage. And yesterday, I really wish I had looked and found out who it was. But yesterday, somebody said that, parents, when they're dealing with their kids, they really can determine something to the effect of parents can make the arrest of a child go better or worse, just depending on the way the parents behave. And I saw that, it stuck in my mind because I was like, yeah, I've seen some parents really get their kids in trouble. I got one for you today where the parents get themselves in trouble and they're not in the car. This one right here is crazy. I've seen a lot of body cam footage. My name is Jason. I'm a body cam footage addict. Okay. I've never seen this before. I have to say, I've never seen what we're about to see. This one right here takes the cake. If this is how 2026 is going to go, and we're only 8 days in, I'm telling you right now, by day 80, it's going to be crazy. So shout out. Yes. And I meant to tell y'all that. Okay. So somebody said, hey, I see you in the maroon. Good point. So one of my coworkers, he had like donuts with dad today. So he wasn't able to go do his job. So earlier I was in my green, right? I was in my green hoodie. So he had to go to donuts with dad. So I said, hey, no problem. I got my maroon hoodie. I'll go take care of your job for you today. So he went to donuts with dad and I went and did what I do with the maroon hoodie on. Don't tell nobody. So that's that. So I'll be back in my green one later on. Maybe during the commercial break, I'll go ahead and put my green hoodie back on. Anyway, thank you. And by the way, thank you to everybody who's picked up a hoodie. I really appreciate it. I think we've sold like 7 or 8 of them, man. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And that does go to help build out the studio and keep everything moving in the right direction here at Whitaker Park. So thank y'all so much. I really appreciate everybody and I hope you enjoy your hoodie. All right. I'm telling you right now, I don't care what you've seen on body cam footage. You've never seen this happen before. A child gets her parents arrested. I don't know what to do. Anyway, let's jump in. Here it comes. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
16th, 2025, police pulled over a young woman because her license plate was too dark. While officers were questioning her, her mother was on the phone and quickly became upset, demanding to know why her daughter was even stopped. What started as a routine traffic stop quickly turned tense. This is everything that happened from that day.
Huh? So, legal limit is 32% plus or minus 3, okay? So 29% is technically what we would consider to be legal and valid, okay? So
you have an exemption for the kids.
Your driver's side windows are at 5%, okay? The other thing is, in the state of Georgia, you can have a 6-inch visor for your windshield. This is beyond 6 inches. I'm sorry?
We have an exemption for the
Who is we? So every single person has the same exemption?
She's coming up here right now.
Is she wanting to speak to us? Okay, that's fine. We'll wait.
You can stay right there when I come up here.
That's fine.
In the meantime, when you pull it over for plate cover.
What? You can roll it back down. I can't hear her.
She said, are you pulling me over for a plate cover?
Yeah, so she's got a tinted...
What did you pull her over for? A fucking plate cover?
Yep, she's got a tinted tag cover, and then she's got a license plate frame that's obstructing the county on the license plate.
You know what? You're full of shit. Because you guys can sit up here and pull over all kinds of fucking people for some goddamn plate cover, but you decide to pull over a young female in report you, and that's why you're pulling her over.
Okay. You copy 27?
Get there.
I would.
All right. So real quick, just to make sure we all have the proper context, the young ladies, the license plate on the back, you can't have one of those covers over your license plate that makes the license plate hard to read from somebody rolling by. The police need to be able to see your license plate all the time. All right. So that's number one. Number two, your tint can't be but so dark. And let me tell you something. Your boy, I am team tint, because I always get cars that have lots of glass on them and the inside just gets hot. So I believe in tint, but I also believe in not getting pulled over. So I know the rules as it relates to tint. So every time I've gotten a car tinted, I make sure I explain exactly what I want on the driver's side and passenger side. You can black out the back like midnight and put that little band across the front. You cannot have your full window tinted. Those are things that are just common knowledge. Or maybe you didn't know common knowledge. I don't know. But you can't have those things. So the young lady has a band on the front of her windshield that's larger than 6 inches. The tint is darker than 29%. That means only 29% of the light comes through. And they got that lens cover on the license plate. So the young girl, that's what it is. Okay. Notice nobody else is in the car, right? But Jason, I thought you said the mom and dad are about to get arrested. Stay tuned.
Probably not do that, because the way you're acting.
071 988 353.
This one is not going to be good.
There's a young police officer. He said, ooh, this is not going to be good. Wait, I'm going to back it up. There's a young black guy, and they're down in Noonan, Georgia. Shout out to Noonan, Georgia. Look, there's certain place. Noonan is a great place. I'm not, no shade. Shout out to Noonan. It's just, I wouldn't be going places and acting a fool. When I travel around here in Georgia, I do my best to behave as best I can. Mom is acting a fool, and y'all gonna see in a second.
I would probably not do that, because the way you're acting.
071 988 353.
This one is not going to be good.
Oh.
552 to 400, 1038.
Okay.
All right, man.
We'll keep that for right now.
All right,
Already
man.
is pulling into a Walmart parking lot. 20 is going to be Delta, Alpha, Queen, 7654 Georgia.
Does she have any more questions for us until she gets here?
This is a great question. Why are they even dealing with this? The mom was already on the phone. The daughter was only 16 years old. So she probably called her mom and dad when she got pulled over. She saw the lights behind her. She told mom and dad, I'm getting pulled over. They're not far from the house. So, or wherever mom and dad are. So they she probably called mom and dad. That's what I would expect my daughters to do. Okay. Call me, but I'm not going to act a fool on the phone, because that's just ridiculous. But you'll see in a second.
Okay. We can come back here. 4 minutes? Okay. So, for the sake of us doing our jobs right and not creating any more problems, is there a reason she needs to come up here? I can't hear her. Well, I can understand this is probably stressing you out a whole heck of a lot more. If you want to, go ahead and start working on her tickets.
Look at his face. Hold on, I gotta get his screenshot. He looking like, man, you don't know what we're about to experience. Yeah, bro, let me tell you something, man. Look, I got an auntie that acts like this. Ooh, every family reunion she be acting up. He looking like, that's the guy that said, ooh, this is not gonna be a good stop.
One for the window tint, one for the license plate frame. So it's the same charge as last night, the display of license plates. The window tint is, if you want to hang tight on the remarks. I don't know.
Oh, here.
No.
Okay.
And then whenever she pulls up, you can come out and you can handle it. All right. Well, mom's here. Come on.
Okay, so mom and dad rolled up in this white Escalade. I think they also are in this black Jeep as well. The daughter is 16 years old, and she just, she's just chilly. I think she's handling it the best. And hate to, spoiler alert, she's actually going to go home. The other people are not. I've never seen it
You got all
before.
these fucking police coming over here for this 16-year-old.
It's literally just us two.
Really? It doesn't look like
Oh.
just you two.
Well, now a supervisor.
yeah.
The dad is in that black
So-
car.
You
yeah.
pulled her over for a goddamn plate cover when you got nothing else to fucking do. Hey, what? Hey, what? This is my daughter.
Stop, y'all. Go away.
This is my daughter.
Y'all keep it calm. Y'all under arrest.
One down.
Don't resist.
Arrest her too. Yeah, she's going too.
Come on, lady. Nobody's resisting anything, man.
Arrest her too.
Hey,
Crazy.
just stop. Let me lock my car, can I?
What are you arresting me for?
Yeah, so you got
What are you arresting me for?
Turn around.
Stop manhandling me, you fucking pig!
Stop resisting.
Stop manhandling me, you fucking pig!
Hold up, Supervisor. Can you lock my Jeep for me, man? We'll office. Come over here.
Okay.
Not trying to pinch
We're not doing this.
Not trying to pinch your skin.
Locking my car, pig.
Okay. This could have been a simple, we explain it.
No, it couldn't have been because when I came up,
No, they were explaining it to the little girl. I guarantee you they would have let that little girl explain that and say, get this taken care of, get this tent fixed, and get that license plate cover taken off. They might have took the license plate cover off of the car and let her go. My mom had a frame on her car one time, and it covered the same thing that hers covered. And they took it off, and I don't know why. I was there, and I asked the police officer, I said, well, they sell these at the auto parts store. And he said, well, they sell crack cocaine too, but you ain't supposed to buy it. And that was the best joke. I'm sorry. I left it alone. This woman made it 1,000% worse.
asked you exactly what you were pulling her over for. Didn't nobody ask for all that shit? And then you sit up there talking about, it's just us two when your fucking supervisor comes over and acts like a fucking moron.
Well, because you can't control your emotions.
My emotions? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Imagine, like, what are you teaching your daughter? Like, what are you teaching? You know what, lady? This why.
You going to jail. You going to jail.
I mean, ma'am, what in the world? Like,
We don't act like this in public.
Oh, but you do.
No, no.
Oh, but you do.
Checking the light, man.
Okay.
Gonna be on a gold Toyota Corolla.
Come on.
Whiskey Zulu.
Let me see the phone and the keys.
Look, Mom.
Let me see your phone and your keys. Perfect.
And then y'all did it. We just came here when you guys came here, man. I know, I saw y'all pull up. Go away. No, I was telling my daughter,
Y'all
So there.
We done told y'all to go away. Stop interfering.
we wasn't us interfering.
to be fair, I do think they were a little bit, they might have been a little bit too proactive in the arrest. They could have easily ignored them. Easily. The dad truly didn't do anything. Now he walked up pretty aggressive, but I don't think he was in striking distance or anything of that nature that they needed to arrest him. The mom was out of pocket. I ain't gonna lie. Mom did need to go to jail. I think they could have settled this down a whole lot, even though the mom and dad came in hot. But I don't think that they're wrong either for arresting him.
No, it was not.
Yeah, because y'all were yelling.
Stop yelling at my wife. I'm trying to get her out the way, Corporal. That's all we were doing.
Well, y'all shouldn't have came in the first place. How about that?
But our daughter's only 16.
The whole allowing you guys to come was to explain the stop.
Okay, but we were coming out and we said what's going on. We was not interfering. We were way back there.
most definitely interfering.
I was not interfering.
Was not interfering. I
Okay,
came up
I'm
and
trying to
walked
get
up to
her
my
to come
daughter
back
to make sure
Okay.
she was okay.
I was not doing anything, man.
Well-
Did I not?
I was not cussing nobody.
Pissing you
I'm
out on the phone
coming.
ain't got
Not
shit
you,
to do
Mr.
with
Watson.
nothing.
Okay, so why you guys arresting me?
Because when you get told to go away,
I
you
was going away. I was
Okay.
backing up, telling my wife to come.
stay right here. Hey, let me see your phone, your keys, sir.
Huh?
Are you okay if we roll your windows up?
Yeah.
You got anything in your pockets?
He already checked my pocket.
You got a phone on you?
No.
You want your phone to come with you?
How long am I gonna be in jail?
You're getting a disorderly conduct and an obstruction charge.
What is that? How much is that bill?
I don't know.
A citation or something?
Yeah, it's 2 citations.
We're getting cited. I mean, how are we going to get back over here?
Huh?
How are we going to get back over here?
When you get released, you can Uber back over here.
You guys
she
going
can
to
come
book us and cite us?
Yes. Let me take your sunglasses off so we don't have to process them into
Stop crying. My daughter's in there crying. My baby's only 16. Any one of you guys, if you guys' daughter got pulled over, you guys are going to come over
Come
here
on,
too,
Mr.
right?
Owens. So, look. Come here, right here. Right here, sir.
Can you lock my car, Cook?
Can we put those in there?
Inside the car?
Babe,
Take a seat. Let me explain something to you.
how long are we going to be in jail?
Huh?
How long are we being in jail?
You're getting 2 tickets, man. You'll get booked in, you'll get back out. But let me explain something.
Can you explain it to my wife?
Let me explain it to you first, okay? When we made our traffic stop, she was
Okay, let me, again, I don't necessarily think the dad needed to get arrested. I know. I don't think dad needed to get arrested. Mom did need to go. Mom was hot from the word go. She needed to go ahead and cool down in the pokey. You need to spend the weekend in jail. I don't think dad necessarily need to be arrested. And I think dad, for the most part, is demonstrating that he has much better self-awareness of emotional intelligence, as people like to say. I think he knows better. And he's just kind of holding it together. So I think dad is better at it. Wait till they start talking to the mom, and you want to throw mom under the jail.
obviously upset, okay?
Of course she's upset.
Understandably so, right? We explained to her the reason for the stop. She gets on the phone with mom. Mom is cussing us out the entire time. Mom is asking us to stay put so we can explain it to her. When mom gets out of the car...
You got out the car with an attitude, man. You got out the car, Cook, with an attitude.
Because I heard her screaming at my officer.
But I wasn't screaming at nobody. I'm just standing here.
Yeah, then you approached this.
I did not approach anybody. No, I did not.
Hey, listen to me, because I'm trying to be respectful to you.
I'm being respectful to both of you
Okay,
guys.
not if you keep interrupting me, right? So, her asking us to stay here, and then immediately getting out of the car screaming, cussing at us, and now being racist for no reason when we've done nothing but be respectful to you guys.
Okay, but I'm just saying she's being disrespectful, or whatever you guys want to call it.
Yep, and that's why she's getting 2 charges and you're getting 1.
What am I getting charged with?
Dad is throwing his wife under the bus. He said, look, she being disrespectful. What about me? What about me? Why am I getting charged? Why am I going to jail? Because I can be quiet. Shout out to Pops.
Interfering. When you got told to go away and you refused.
Okay, I wasn't even close to you guys in the first place.
Okay.
I was standing over there by my Cadillac Escalade.
All right.
I was not even close to you guys, but okay.
Okay, sir.
How long am I be sitting in here?
Huh?
How long?
This is a city ticket. So
Are you talking about in the back of the car?
Yeah.
When we finish your daughter's tickets, and then we'll
What is
get
my daughter getting a ticket for?
window tint and a tack over.
Well, I got the car's in my name, and I got an exemption for the window tint.
You might. She doesn't.
Okay, but she's driving my car.
Again, you might have an exemption. She does not.
Okay. Well, you give her the ticket. I'll go to court and show the
Perfect.
the lady. Can you loosen these a little bit?
No, sir. Put your foot in there.
Can you roll the window down?
Yeah, I will. You want some air too?
Yeah, I just want the window down.
That's fine.
You want me to give your daughter your keys? Or do you just want to take them with you?
Watch
So,
when he starts
I will
talking
allow
to the
you the
mom.
same respect
Now watch when he starts talking to the mom. Y'all gonna be like, look, put her in jail.
that you have, that your husband has allowed. Okay? When we initiate the traffic stop, we were nothing but respectful to your daughter. Okay? You're on the phone, you ask us to stay put, we stay put so we can explain the citation to you. Okay? You don't get to get out of the car screaming at us, making demands, being racist. You don't get to act like that, especially in public. Do what you do behind closed doors, but you don't do that to us. And then on top of us trying to tell you you're under arrest, and then you turn and face us like you're about to fight us.
Don't over-exaggerate.
I'm not. That's exactly what
I
happened.
turn around and fight you. I'm a 55-year-old woman. I'm not going to fight
I
two
said,
police
try to
without
fight.
guns.
I said, try to fight.
No, looking like nothing.
All right, well, come on. Since you're incapable of listening,
I was listening. I'm
Okay.
just telling you, don't over-exaggerate.
I'm not.
Wasn't nobody trying to fight you.
Okay.
Didn't nobody turn around to try to fight you.
Okay.
We'll just
Yeah,
go
but-
to court.
I can't fit back here
I'll
because of my leg.
Well, I have nowhere else to put you, so get in the car.
Just lay across the thing. Did he lock up the Escalade?
I did.
Perfect.
she
Looks like
got
you have plenty of room.
That door slam was glorious. You know she got to be a pill. She has got to be somebody to live with. I'm telling you right now.
She's getting her tag cover and her window tint ticket. She's getting obstruction and disorderly. He's getting.
What's she getting obstruction for?
Huh?
What's she getting obstruction
He went to go put her in handcuffs and she faced him and bladed her stance.
Kind of like he did.
I'm surprised. Never mind. Yeah. So we're gonna get her tickets done, get her out of here, take them, and
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I was right there, and I saw
I was-
get out, and then how they walked up to the car, so I hit my siren so I can get across.
Well,
quick.
I
And
was-
I got out, and she just was screaming at y'all.
I was hoping that all of her anger would go out of the window by the time she got here. Clearly it didn't, but the kid's a minor. I was waiting on mom to be respectful.
All right, so that was the end of it. I hate it because usually body cam they give you like all of the not every some body cams they give you like all the cops cameras all merged together like a little montage, and even sometimes they'll show you inside of the car because I would love to hear what mom and dad are talking about since they're both in the same car locked up. That would be a wonderful thing. And also wanted to see, like they said the daughter was crying. She probably was embarrassed. She probably was crying with embarrassment. Like my mom and dad came down here and got themselves arrested right in front of me. That's got to be the wildest thing anybody's ever seen. But okay, so anyway, I like the body cams. I think they're a fun way to kind of kick off the show and get moving, you know, kind of slow ourselves in, ease ourselves into this traumatic experience, which is Candace Owens' live stream. Earlier today, I came across a video, and I don't think anybody sent it to me. I think I literally just came across it. And it is right on the button about what it is about Candace that so many people have pointed out, what it is about Candace that so many people do not like, what it is about Candace that really causes her and Cantifa to be insufferable. Like they're not going to change. That's why we just mock and make fun of them, because they're not going to change. And this young lady really broke it down. And her name is, okay, her name is, wait, what is it? Dr. somebody. I downloaded the link, so she gives it in a second. Let me bring it in and I'll make sure I have it in a second. Greenheart's in the chat when y'all can hear.
Ever interacted with someone who has a very paranoid, conspiratory way of thinking about the world? And it's just so frustrating because nothing will get through to them. You may have come into contact with a conspiracy theorist out in the wild. In this video, I will explain why it's very unlikely that you will actually convince a conspiracy theorist to change their mind with evidence, and why it's honestly really difficult to be in any sort of relationship with them, whether it's romantic, family, friends, work, school, whatever. Now, a while back, I made an entire video on the psychology of conspiracy theorists, which covers like what the research has to say on this topic. But today I want to go a little bit deeper into the specific ways of thinking and reasoning that people like this tend to engage in, because it shows up in everyday micro interactions. When you're dealing with someone who just has this like undercurrent of paranoia, who chronically believes that powerful people are out to get them, including sometimes maybe you. And I'm going to be using Candace Owens' content as a case study for a lot of the things that I'm talking about.
Okay, hold on real quick. Some conspiracy theories do genuinely end up being proven true. Simply dismissing something because it sounds conspiratory isn't scientific either. However, when someone chronically believes in conspiracies due to cognitive errors, that's a problem.
Without further ado, why is it so hard to argue with conspiracy theorists? What are their ways of thinking and reasoning? Question before we get started. Have you actually interacted with a conspiracy theorist? And how did that go for you? Let me know down in the comments. So the first thing I want to mention about the way conspiracy theorists think and reason is they use circumstantial evidence for their allegations. Circumstantial evidence are things that could raise red flags about something, but it's not proof. It requires you to reason in order to reach that conclusion. Circumstantial evidence is considered less strong in court, for instance, than direct evidence. For example, let's say that John accuses Jane of cheating on him. He says, "You've been working late and you started taking more care in how you look." But he has no direct evidence. He hasn't seen her, make flirty faces at her coworker. He hasn't found compromising text messages. He hasn't caught her in the act. He hasn't heard from someone else that she's having an affair. Is it understandable that John might wonder if Jane is cheating on him? Maybe, but it's not sufficient proof to be convinced of his conclusion because there are other possible explanations too. Maybe she's decided to take work more seriously, or maybe she's trying to do self-improvement in the new year. Circumstantial evidence means that sometimes people are just going to be at the wrong place, wrong time. And motive is often a big one that conspiracy theorists use as circumstantial evidence. They'll say just because someone is motivated to do something, that's evidence that they actually did what they're being accused of. For example, let's say that Glenda accuses you of sleeping with your boss to get a promotion. But just because you're motivated to get a promotion doesn't mean you actually slept with your boss. So her being convinced of it based on only circumstantial evidence is a little bit shaky. So regarding Candace, to my knowledge, at no point has Candace presented any concrete evidence for any of her theories. For example, regarding her conspiracies about the Charlie Kirk assassination. It's all circumstantial, like people in the crowd wearing maroon.
Here we go. We have this young man. This is after the shot. He's wearing maroon. Show you another person here sitting there under the tree after the shot, and he's wearing maroon. Show you another person here. We're going to come back to this person who is wearing maroon because his dad is going to say something publicly. 3 people, 1 shot, all of them alone, wearing maroon. We're going to come back to the guy at the top there who has the hat, the darker hat on, who is wearing maroon. Just like these strapping young men all wearing maroon. We've got this guy in the bush wearing maroon. I could go on and on. This person of how many people were wearing maroon. I even have a video of someone holding a maroon shirt.
Similarly, she's provided no direct evidence that Brigitte Macron is a man, only indirect proof, like the fact that she looks like her brother or doesn't have childhood photos. Now, people like Candace use circumstantial evidence to prove their accusations, despite the fact that the burden of proof is on them to provide tangible, concrete evidence. Take, for example, John and Jane. John can't suddenly demand that Jane prove she's not cheating on him without any evidence that she is. If he's going to make such a serious accusation, it's on him to have evidence to back up his claim. But paranoid conspiratory thinking flips this dynamic. It makes an accusation where the person being accused needs to prove their innocence. Instead of innocent until proven guilty, it becomes guilty until you prove yourself innocent. Suddenly it's, I'm 100% sure that you're guilty, and any attempt at you proving your innocence is actually going to be rejected. More on that in a second. So with Candace, the burden of proof is on her to provide evidence for the outlandish theories that she's perpetuating. But instead, she demands the people she's accusing to defend themselves against accusations she doesn't have direct proof of. Why should Brigitte Macron have to prove that she's not a man? Candace doesn't have any direct evidence that she does, and honestly, even if she did, who fucking cares? Candace's evidence is either circumstantial, like she looks like her brother, or hearsay from unverified sources. Let's find an example of this in the family sphere. Let's say that there's a dad who feels easily slighted by his son disrespecting him. His son left the dinner table without saying thank you, he disagreed with him during a discussion, and he made direct eye contact during conflict. But all these are negative interpretations of ambiguous behaviors. Just because his son didn't agree with him or made direct eye contact doesn't mean he was disrespecting him. That's just how the dad interpreted his behavior. But the dad still presents that as proof of wrongdoing. So then the son gets put in a position where he needs to prove his innocence and explain and justify every little thing that he does. However, the son will always fail at this because another component of conspiratory thinking is they make unfalsifiable claims. An unfalsifiable claim is something that cannot be proven wrong. Like if I were to say to you, you watch anime in secret, I can prove it if, I catch you watching anime or admitting to someone that you watch anime, but you can't actually prove that you you don't watch anime in secret because, maybe you do it when no one's watching. Another unfalsifiable claim is the claim that God exists. He's just invisible, so we can't actually prove that he does or doesn't exist. Or the elites are controlling us, but they hide all the evidence. If they hide all the evidence and they're so powerful, then we can't actually prove that they do or don't. So with Candace, how can we prove that it wasn't Israel or Egypt or the United States government that assassinated Charlie Kirk? We can't, because she says there's this mono government that controls everything and hides all the evidence. So it's an unfalsifiable claim. What's an example in everyday life of an unfalsifiable claim? Someone might say to you, you're using me for social status, and you can't actually prove your intentions, so it's unfalsifiable. In general, people who tend to have conspiratory thinking will use something called the mind-reading cognitive distortion and use their beliefs about what...
Okay, so real quick, I thought this was really cool. So thinking about my own issues, what I think he's thinking, negative, thinking about my own issues. So the dude is just processing his own thoughts, working on his own thoughts, but this person assumes he knows what he's thinking about. All right, let's keep it going.
You think as evidence to their theory. And it can sometimes even turn into a delusion. It's like, I literally know what you think. I'm convinced I know what you think, even though I have no evidence of it. And you can't prove me wrong. I am so sorry that I look like Rudolph intermittently throughout this video. I keep having to blow my nose. And this is where the next piece comes in, which is that any response or non-response is perceived as evidence of wrongdoing.
And that thing happened where there was an overreaction for no reason online, so I knew that I was on the right track and I should probably keep going.
If the accused person actually responds, that's interpreted as wrongdoing. So if the Macrons sue Candace for defamation like they're doing, oh, she must have gotten under their skin, she must be onto something, they're trying to silence her. But if the accused doesn't respond, that's also evidence of wrongdoing. Like how the US government didn't make a statement with regards to her accusation that the Macrons put a hit on her. Oh, that's because they're in on it, they're covering it up.
I did hear back from the White House confirming that that message had been delivered on Trump's desk, me saying that I had the information. I guess he didn't want to inquire further.
So isn't it wild that she thought the president was going to talk about this topic, address this topic, but she has not shown us any evidence about that? I know I keep making a lot of hay about it. I know I'm not going to let it go, and no, I'm not going to let it go. How is it that you still have not shown anything, but you wanted the president? You thought the president and the FBI director and the chief dog walker and everybody was going to scramble and scrape because you said it? That's some crazy work, man. That's some absolute insanity.
Which is interesting. But the FBI left me on red. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that. But I did send a text message to somebody very high up who received the text message. No response. Now, I thought that the claim of the French Foreign Legion being involved in Charlie's assassination, I thought the FBI might be interested. No phone calls even from Utah's FBI branch have come into me either. Wouldn't you want to see? Aren't we supposed to be investigating the Charlie Kirk assassination? It was totally not a state operation, and they really want to get to the truth, which explains why nobody called. No, Utah, not interested. I'm actually surprised Tyler Robinson's lawyer hasn't reached out to me. What's going on here? No, we've got to protect the patsy, right? We've got to protect the patsy in this situation.
So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. In everyday interactions, let's say your mom accuses you of hiding something from her. And she says, you're hiding something. I know it. I have a feeling, which is emotional reasoning when you say you know something simply because you have a feeling about it. This is another key component of conspiratory thinking, by the way.
He makes my skin crawl. I can't explain it. I look at him and he's a bad person and nobody can make me feel one way or the other about that.
If you reply, I'm not hiding anything, then she can say, see, look how defensive you are. This is proof that I'm right. But if you just disengage and say, I'm not going to get into a fight with you right now, then she can say, see, you won't even defend yourself because you know I'm right. And I see this all the time with online figures who are forced to defend themselves for whatever reason. People demand that they defend themselves, and then they use their response as proof of wrongdoing. But if they stay silent, they also use that as proof of wrongdoing. But regardless, when you're dealing with such a person, Not defending yourself is usually the much better move because anything you say can and will be twisted against you. And yeah, even if you don't say anything, it's going to get twisted against you, but at least then they'll have less to latch on to. Another component of conspiratory thinking is their pattern recognition is simultaneously overactive and underactive, meaning they read into certain things and see a pattern where there is none, like maroon shirts, yet also they don't notice more blatant patterns at play, like, say, all the evidence we have against the man who's currently on trial for assassinating Charlie.
That's why she keeps calling it the official narrative, Fed slop, or anything like that. That's why they keep doing that, because she doesn't want to accept it. And there's tons of more evidence that she's not going to accept when the trial actually starts. So she doesn't want to accept that, but she wants you to believe. This is where Occam's razor comes in. Like, it's easier to believe, like, okay, this actually makes sense. Tyler Robinson did it. Sure, he probably didn't work alone, but Tyler Robinson is the one that did it. It's easier to believe that than all of this cobbled together story that she wants you to believe. So, shout out to this young lady. Her name is, again, I dropped the link in the chat. And if the mods can make sure we drop her link in there, her name is, I just had it and then closed it out. I don't know why I did that. It's like Dr. Ann, I think her name is. Her name is, yeah, Dr. Anna. There we go. All right. Bring her back in, Jason. Let's go. Let's go.
Kirk. People with conspiratory thinking both see patterns where there are none and don't see patterns where they truly exist. This is called pattern overdetection and pattern blindness, because they're motivated to see patterns only when it involves this core feeling of paranoia, only when they want to confirm the belief that someone powerful is out to get them. Let's say both you and a mutual friend can't go out to lunch with your friend Vanessa. Let's say both of you have to cancel. She interprets this as evidence that the two of you have been talking behind her back. She sees a pattern where there is none. But on the other hand, she fails to see the larger pattern that both you and the mutual friend are sick, for instance. Maybe it's flu season. Maybe you had to cancel a family event last night, so it's not like you're only bailing on her. But Vanessa is simultaneously not seeing the pattern that exists and seeing a pattern that doesn't exist. Conspiratory thinking people also move the goalpost. Moving the goalpost is a logical fallacy where someone asks for evidence, but once you provide evidence, they demand for even more evidence. No amount of evidence is ever enough. So for example, at the beginning of her conspiracy theories regarding the Charlie Kirk assassination, Candace said, "I'm only going to stop if Erica Kirk asks me to stop." And then when Erica Kirk flat out told her stop, she refused to stop.
Going to stop unless Erica Kirk asks me to stop. Erica said stop. No.
She was saying, no, I'm only going to stop if you tell me where I've lied. Again, like, I'm only going to stop if you prove to me an unfalsifiable claim, right? How does this look in relationships? Well, I once had a professor who would move the goalpost on exams. For example, he would ask for us, what does the prefrontal cortex do? And it was a paragraph answer worth 3 points. And so we would give 3 things, 3 examples of what the prefrontal cortex does. And he would mark us all down because, well, you didn't also cite that it does this and it does this. Nothing was ever enough. The goalpost was always moving, and the entire class was worried that we were going to fail. Now, if you actually disprove the conspiracy theory, that is also seen as proof of the theory's veracity. This is called a self-sealing belief, which is where you interpret any outcome, including the disconfirmation.
Okay, an argument or position is self-sealing if and only if no evidence can be brought against it, no matter what. Okay.
By evidence as confirmation of the theory. For example, I don't know by the time I post this what else will have happened with Candace. It changes day by day. But as of today, when I'm filming this, Candace Owens posted that she had a really long talk with Erica Kirk. She feels it alleviated tensions or something like that. And I thought this was a really interesting comment under that post. If her direction changes tomorrow, we will know that everything that was said before is indeed 100% accurate. There is no...
Wait, I want to see the full comment. Hold on. Let me bring that up a little bit. Okay. Let me.
Which is where you interpret any outcome, including the disconfirmation by evidence, as confirmation of the theory. For example, I don't know by the time I post this what else will have happened with Candace. It changes day by day. But as of today, when I'm filming this, Candace Owens posted that she had a really long talk with Erica Kirk. She feels it alleviated tensions or something like that. And I thought this was a really interesting comment under that post. If her direction changes tomorrow, we will know that everything that was said before is indeed
100% accurate. And they have got something on Candace that she can't let anything happen to. That's interesting. I don't know why she didn't read the rest of that. That's some wild stuff, but we've seen this. So we definitely can agree that that's what happens. Let's keep it going. Oh, by the way, this is Dr. Ann, and her link is in the chat right now. I just dropped it. I didn't know the mods are going to also drop it throughout the day as well.
100% accurate. There is no circumstance under which such people will ever believe that their theory is disproven. Even evidence to the contrary, even somebody saying like, hey, actually I was wrong, actually new information came to light, is interpreted as evidence to their theory. This is related.
Or actually, I was not there. Or here's a picture that I was at my child's gender reveal party. Or here's my boarding pass that I was flying in LA or whatever. They're never going to be happy. The goalposts will keep moving and they'll just keep digging. Well, you didn't show the metadata. You had enough time that you could have. What's that guy's name? The senator. He didn't make roll call, even though we see him in the video, but he wasn't at roll call. So he must have been hightailing it from Arizona or Utah to come back to DC. They're just never going to be satisfied. They're never satisfied.
To confirmation bias, how we tend to dismiss evidence that disconfirms our beliefs, and we tend to prioritize evidence of our beliefs. And it happens a lot when people refuse to admit that they were ever wrong, likely because their belief is somehow tied to their identity, such as the identity of being a victim of the universe's elites. That is why there is no convincing these people. Even if literally the person spearheading these theories says, I changed my mind, they will never believe it. Also, dissidents are framed as enemies who are in on a big conspiracy.
I mean, come on. Is that not everybody who's not Cantifa? Is that not every one of us? You're a Zionist. You're getting paid $7,000. You're this, that, and the other. The name calling only because you don't agree with these crazy theories that the woman comes up with. You could have questions. It doesn't even matter if you have legitimate questions about Charlie Kirk's assassination. If you don't follow lockstep with Cantifa, then all the names come forward. All the accusations come forward. By the way, the $7,000 one has kind of tampered down. I don't know why that one they've gotten quiet on that one. But all the other ones happen. And I wonder why that is. Let's go.
So Candace initially steered clear of accusing Erica Kirk of anything. But then, once Erica said stop and condemned the conspiracy theories, Candace also started criticizing her. So the way that this looks in day-to-day interactions is, let's say your friend Katie is telling you that she thinks your mutual friend Consuela has been turning everyone against her. And you politely disagree and you say, hey, I really don't think that Consuela did that. And you provide your evidence for why you think that. You then also become persona non grata, somebody who's in on it, who's in on Consuela's mastermind scheme. Anyone presenting evidence to the contrary of the conspiracy theory automatically gets shut down by an ad hominem attack. Oh, you're in on it. You're one of them. In conclusion, I wanted this video not only to go into the reasoning and thinking errors involved in conspiracy thinking, but also the way that it shows up in relationships. What happens when those conspiracy theorists go out into the world and interact with everyday people? Because at one point or another, we're probably all going to come into contact with them. Some conspiracy theories turn out to be true. Yeah, absolutely. But someone who chronically uses these errors in thinking and reasoning is likely seeing conspiracy theories where there are none. So as a reminder, those are using circumstantial evidence for their claims, flipping the burden of proof, making unfalsifiable claims, perceiving either.
Okay, let me let you I screenshot this if you need to. I think this was an excellent summary of her name is Dr. Ann, and I thought she did an outstanding job of just explaining this in very bite-sized pieces. I think her examples were spot on the money. So I don't see that Candace has actually announced the show. Yeah, I don't see she's announced the show. Okay, I got some good stuff to do in the meantime, between time. Let's keep it dancing. Let's go.
Either response or non-response as evidence of wrongdoing, simultaneous pattern over-detection and pattern blindness, moving the goalpost, self-sealing beliefs, and ad hominem attacks against dissidents. If you're dealing with such a person and you keep feeling frustrated because no amount of reasoning with them works, stop. It's not you, it's them. There's no winning when it comes to such a person, so you might as well stop trying. I hope you have a nice rest of your week. See you soon.
All right, so that was Dr. Ann. I thought she did a great job. That was a fantastic summary of what it's like dealing with this Cantifa people. Let me know what y'all thought about it. I really would like to know. And she's done some other ones, but they're not around Candace. But I do like finding experts that can talk about it. So true. What did you say right there? That's true. No winning with her. There you go. It's always going to change. The goalpost and the goal is always going to change. So let me see. Did you send that to me? You said, okay. If you did, thank you so much. Okay, here, let's take a pause. Let's jump over to the situation with Venezuela. This one is just a fun recap of what's going on with Venezuela and the pushback of it. So let's go.
What'd you get arrested for?
Because I had too much oil.
Me too, bro.
Okay.
You want to know what my favorite food is?
What?
Maduros.
Cabron? What are you talking about, Diddy? Hey, Senor Trump, let me out.
Yes, let him go. You can't do that.
So, you upset because Venezuelans might put up pictures of me on their fridge every year in honor of their freedom?
No, you can't just start military operations without Congress, and you definitely can't arrest another country's president.
Look, Obama killed Osama, no congressional approval. Obama invaded Libya. The operation killed Gaddafi, no approval. Biden killed the al-Qaeda leader in 2022, no congressional approval. And I swoop in and brings the man alive back to the U.S. Democrats go crazy. You guys need to stop being absolute hypocrites.
Whatever. You are a dictator. Free Maduro. Free Maduro.
Let's be honest. Before the arrest, most liberals didn't even know who Nicolas Maduro was.
Arresting a sitting president violates international law.
Yeah, only if that person is recognized as head of state. And U.S. doesn't recognize Maduro as a legitimate president because he's not. He's a dictator. Head of immunity is an automatic. It depends on recognition, not self-declaration.
I don't care. Free Maduro.
Si, Senor Trump, free me.
By the way, where's your Venezuelan flag, though? 9 months ago, Ukraine flags. 8 months ago, Palestine flags. 6 months ago, Iranian flags. And now Venezuela flags everywhere. So you liberals stand for every country except the United States.
What else?
All right. I thought that was a great summary. And I think that was a great summary of what we've been experiencing as it relates to what's going on with Maduro. But real quick, let me change my deal here. All right. I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much, man. And people have been asking, hey, Candace has not announced a start, which is kind of wild, but it's not usually by the end of the week. I don't know if her recordings get a little bit hectic or whatever like that, but usually by the end of the week, she doesn't announce her show until, literally like 10 minutes before. So I've seen her literally announce it 15, 20 minutes before it's supposed to start. So that's about par for her course. I do want to say thank you so much for this very kind super. What you said here, I think the Daily Wire is putting up a mirror and she doesn't like what she sees. It makes her look really unserious. She hates herself when she looks when she looks inward. I got you. Absolutely. Matter of fact, let's look at this. So Daily Wire, I do think, let me tell you what I think is going on. I'm going to frame this whole conversation. I'm going to bring in the Daily Wire video. First of all, let's make sure we have it ready, Jason. It's just, all right. All right, I got it queued up. So y'all may have, I'm sure y'all have already seen it. It's been all over Twitter, all over the internet. I think I use it in a video later on today. But personally, I think the Daily Wire, as this wonderful super chat has pointed out, I think they're holding up the mirror, but I think they're also showing just how unhinged she is. And they're, by using her words, by using their IP, which is their intellectual property, they own that property. They can do whatever they want to do to it. And so because of that, Candace is completely melting down. and she's not able to deal with that fact. But I also think in some kind of way, not really intentionally necessarily, this is taking the heat off of Erica Kurt and some of the vile things that Candace was alluding to before she started this battle, her new battle again with the Daily Wire. Because remember, she was alluding that Erica Kurt had a extramarital affair. She was alluding to that with the whole Cabot Phillips discussion and the whole being there at Fort Hucktua and all that stuff. That's where she was going with that. So that being the case, the Daily Wire trolling Candace has actually kind of taken some of that heat off for the time being and kind of tampered that down so they don't have to deal with that foolishness. And, Cantifa's going to probably lose interest in it eventually, and it won't even come up again. But just like they don't talk about the planes or don't talk about the assassination or the guy talking to the bush or anything like that. Notice all those things have kind of slid off the radar, because that's how Candace is. So let me bring this in. This is the Daily Wires, and they literally call it, hold on, it's literally called Crazy X Volume 1. That's savage. I think they're really doing this to troll her. I think they're trying to take 50 Cent's crown as being the king of trolls. Let's go. Here comes Green Hearts in the chat where you can hear.
That I genuinely feel like when you break up with someone and you have a crazy ex, that was how it felt like being fired from the Daily Wire. Daily Wire, the Daily Wire, the Daily Wire, the Daily Wire, from the Daily Wire, the Daily Wire, the Daily Wire, Andrew Clavin, my crazy ex-boyfriend, Andrew Clavin. The Daily Wire. Does have a Daily Wire? He does some stuff. The Daily Wire. The Daily Wire. The Daily Wire. The Daily Wire. At the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire. Daily Wire. And from the Daily Wire. From the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire. From the Daily Wire. Take the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro. Dave Smith. The answer to this question might get you kicked off the Daily Wire. I had to laugh at that. That's really funny. The Daily Wire. And the Daily Wire. My psycho ex-boyfriend. Daily Wire. Daily Wire. Daily Wire. Reagan Conrad. Jeremy Boring. The Daily Wire. Daily Wire. Daily Wire. Daily Wire with the Daily Wire and the Daily Wire. Brett Cooper out at the Daily Wire. Daily Wire, the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire, the Daily Wire, Daily Wire, the Daily Wire. Daily Wire, sign up for the Daily Wire. After I got fired from the Daily Wire, we're like, she's done. She's toast. The Daily Wire, the Daily Wire, the Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on.
And I was like, why are you so obsessed with me?
That is some crazy work. And it's funny because as much as she says the Daily Wire attacks her, there's no evidence to that. Now, I did look it up and I need to confirm it. I did find an action against Candace from the Daily Wire, but it's not what she made it sound out to be. So let me pull that in because I think it was interesting because, she made it sound like, so here, I'll pull it in. Let me just double check, make sure we haven't started it. She hasn't announced her show yet. She's not announced it. So I went over to ChatGPT and I thought about it. Yesterday I asked, was there any legal anything between Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, and Candace Owens podcast, Candace Owens LLC? Nothing. Nada. But today I thought about it, and I don't know if maybe somebody mentioned it or whatnot, but I said, what about a restraining order? I don't know why, but I just wanted to know, maybe there was a restraining order. And so I said, hey, did Ben Shapiro ever have a restraining order from Candace Owens? Either way. And it said, no, there's no credible report that Ben Shapiro ever got a restraining order from Candace Owens. And there's nothing showing Owens sought legal protection against Shapiro. What did happen is a different legal matter. Oh, and that was interesting. Like, oh, well, what did happen? ChatGPT, let me know. Is a different legal matter. After Owens and the Daily Wire, the conservative outlet Shapiro co-founded, parted ways in early 2024, the company reportedly obtained a gag order via a private arbiter against Owens that limits her ability to publicly disparage the outlet or its leaders, including Shapiro. That's not a restraining order in the typical sense, which is usually police enforced to keep someone away. But a contractual gag, non-disparagement restriction tied to the separation. This was reported by multiple outlets citing journalist Glenn Greenwald, though through the Daily Wire's CEO, despite aspects of the report. So, in short, no, Owens did not file a restraining order against Shapiro. Yes, the Daily Wire reportedly got a gag order against Owens as part of the post-employment legal negotiations. So I went and said, they said, can you dig any more? I said, is there another outlet that can explain the Daily Wire had to get a gag order? And he says, yeah. If you're looking for another outlet that explains why the Daily Wire reportedly got a gag order on Candace Owens, here's a solid one, the Daily Caller, and the context of the gag order. And I'll look at that in a moment. The Daily Caller, conservative news outlet, reported a gist of what Glenn Greenwald said in the local newspaper. Daily Wire allegedly sought a gag order through a private arbiter against Candace Owens after she publicly challenged them to a debate with Ben Shapiro. They argued Owens violated the non-disparagement clause in her contract by how she publicly pushed for the debate and light certain criticisms of the Daily Wire and Shapiro on X, formerly Twitter. The arbiters sided with them, meaning she couldn't make disparaging comments about the Daily Wire or Shapiro in this context. This reportedly complicated or even prevented the debate the company was saying it wanted to host. All right, so that's from the Daily Caller, and that's just a summation of it. And so that's why, and I don't know why, because it seemed like she's always been talking about the Daily Wire and such of that nature. So it seemed like she's been violating this gag order or this verbal restraining order for the longest since she left. She don't seem like she's ever not been talking about them, per the video I just popped up. So let me know what y'all think about it. And let's just double check, see what your girl is doing. She has not announced the show, y'all. I don't know. What y'all think? She said she's going to do a show today. She said it. Yeah, I think she violated from the word go. I think she violated the moment she left, in my opinion. Yeah, that's a very good point. Maybe she was just, I wasn't keeping up with it, loyal love. I appreciate it though. I don't know if maybe she was like trying to be slick with it, when in actuality she was really being out of range. All right, let me see real quick. I don't know why she's not going. This is interesting. Yesterday, Candace read an email from a young lady that said that she was sent a script and a video to emulate for her audition to do a show on the Daily Wire. Well, the young lady has put up a video, and I don't know what she says in the video. Y'all want to see it? That is a good point. She does disappear a lot. And I bet you pennies over $1, it has something to do with the fact that tomorrow the Macron case is supposed to come out. The decision. Y'all want to see it? All right. So do me a favor. If you would like to see this video, the young lady who sent Candace the email and all that kind of jazz, can you please make sure you like the video? Can you do that? Help your brother out. Let's see what we got. Uh-oh. Darn it. Hold on. I already lost. It told me I lost audio. 1 second. All right. We're going to test it out real quick. Green hearts in the chat when y'all can hear. Green hearts when you can hear.
Welcome to the Patchwork Podcast. I thought that I would start this video by reintroducing myself because I have a feeling that most of you have no idea who I am. And I thought I would do this while I make my coffee. So my name is Maggie Wegner. I am 23 years old. I went to college in Savannah, Georgia at SCAD, that is
Shut up.
Savannah's College of Art and Design. I got my BFA in graphic design, and I've been doing photography since maybe 9th grade or so. I've just always really enjoyed it and loved it. I'm not professionally trained in it, but I love it so much. I grew a strong passion for wanting to talk about politics and bring creativity and art into the art world because I think that's a really powerful way to speak to people. My senior year of college, I watched a documentary about Chloe Cole and her detransition story, and it was so powerful. It moved me so much, and it was so devastating to hear everything she'd gone through. I spent quite some time on the left in college, though I grew up a conservative, and I just started doing so much research for myself, and I came back over to the right eventually. I wanted to do a project sharing and documenting Chloe Cole's story because I felt like she should be on the cover of Vogue. I've said this before, but she should have been. And because her story is so powerful, she's so brave, and everything she's gone through is insane. If you don't know her story, I can't remember if I'm getting these ages completely right, but I want to say at 15, she got a double mastectomy and was put on cross-sex hormones. Her parents were given that line, would you rather have a living son or a dead daughter? And just the whole story is wild. I would recommend everybody to go look into it. I released the project onto my Instagram. It was called The Duality of Woman, and it was showing that you can dress masculine or feminine and you can still be a female. You cannot change your gender. I want to say the shoot happened in September of 2023 and it got posted in October of 2023. And that was my senior year of college. After releasing the photo shoot, I got doxxed, I got death threats, I lost nearly all of my friends. I got calls from professors that people were trying to get me removed from their classes. It was the most insane experience ever. My husband.
Okay, Lord have mercy. What happened? Uh-oh. What does that mean? Okay, it just dipped out. It's gone. Please try again. Man, I don't need to get. Am I still here?
Hello, everyone.
Oh, it's gone. I hit refresh. Let me try one more time. Oops. Oh, it's gone. Oh, that's interesting. Uh-oh. Okay, well, y'all can hear me. Look, I'm gonna leave that alone. Dang. That's kind of wild. I wonder what happened. Okay, so she was just talking and her video got taken down. Ooh, that is very interesting. Okay, I've pulled it back. Okay, hold on, let's try something. It's back up. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna just go ahead and snag it real quick. Give me a second. Okay, so for those people, this is a young lady that sent Candace the video about the Daily Wire's mockumentary or mock show about Candace. And she's just kind of telling her background story. And at the current moment, Candace has not announced the show. So we kind of like a little bit, just kind of hanging out, chilling. All right, so I got it. And we're going to start again. Let me do green hearts in chat when y'all
Hello,
can hear.
everyone, and welcome to the podcaster out there. And I think, I think one of the big mind, and I have more about that story in one of my first videos on the channel. But yeah, so I moved back home to Nashville, Tennessee, and finished my year out at SCAD online, which was, again, so sad because I love Savannah so much. It's still my favorite city in the world, and I was so sad to leave. I actually planned on staying there forever. I think one of the big things that's so crazy to me right now is how much division there is. I have so much respect for all of the conservative political commentators out there. I listen to nearly everybody, and I like most everybody that I listen to. I always have disagreements with everyone, and I could find something I agree with and disagree with virtually every podcaster out there. And I think that's everyone, which is why it's just so crazy to me how much the hate that is out there in the division on the right has happened. My biggest goal with my life and everything that I care about, I would say, is I care so much about Gen Z. I care about them feeling like they can speak up about their beliefs. I want it to become popular to be able to share your beliefs no matter what they are. I wish we could go back to even like 2010, 2015, anything pre-2019 where you could agree and disagree with someone on your politics and you could still be friends. You could still have no problems with that, because that's currently still how I feel. I don't care where you lie on the political spectrum, as long as you are a good human being. That's all I really care about. I got married in 2024, and we have been married around a year and a half now, which is crazy to say. And we have a dog and 2 cats, and I'm getting sidetracked. Back to my main goal is a lot of what I have experienced growing up is really struggling with mental health, and I want to help Gen Z with that so much. I think there are so many things playing into that issue. I think one of them is social media. I think another one of them is constantly shoving SSRIs down our throats. I was on those for a very long time, and I am not completely against it for anyone, because I think it can be totally helpful for people depending where you're at. But my problem is they try to get you on these medicines, and they continuously rack up how much medicine you are on. I cannot describe the amount of SSRIs I eventually was on at one point, which now I'm off of everything. And most everybody I know around me that was on SSRIs for a significant period of time and then was able to get off of them is doing so much better now than they were on the SSRIs. This is a short-term thing, I think, for those to be successful. Big Pharma continuously pushes these on you to try to keep you on them for the rest of your life.
So somebody might ask, so this is, somebody was asking, who is this girl? This young lady is the young lady who shared the video with Candace. The script, she sent the email, she sent the AI video that they were supposed to emulate. This is her, and she's just telling her story. I'm gonna try to jump a little bit forward because it does seem a little
another
bit...
problem of, I don't know a Gen Zer, honestly, this voted, and it was really impressive, and I think so much of that was thanks to Charlie Kirk. I don't think Trump would have won the election without him. As far as where I go on standings with everything with Donald Trump, where my political views are at, I consider myself right of center. I'm pretty moderate on most of my beliefs. Despite being called a Nazi every single day online, I would call myself relatively moderate, but right-leaning.
I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
I think there's a lot of nuance to these different political problems that we have, and I love a lot of what Trump has done. I'm huge on the border crisis and protecting our border. I'm huge on getting the gender crap out of schools, keep it away from children. This is ridiculous, but if you're an adult, you know, do what you want. It's your own life. I don't agree with it, but do what you want. A lot of respect for what RFK has done.
Okay, this is extremely interesting. I know people are like, hey, why are we listening to this? But, you know, this is extremely interesting. Notice the things that she said that are important. Notice the thing, the border, getting gender crap out of schools, stuff with RFK and such like that. She's not talking about Gaza. She's not talking about Israel. Candace would make that, Candace would say that would be, that's not even stuff to even worry about. The most important thing is to worry about what's going on 9 time zones away. That's very interesting that this young lady, that's what she's most concerned about, which then why are you messing with Candace? Let's go.
I am huge on the Maha movement as well. We eat very healthy in our household. I said that as I poured like 4 things of maple syrup into here, but it's organic. We generally eat very clean, and I've seen the way that has transformed my life. And I think another problem that goes back to this whole mental health problem in America is how poor the quality of our food is. What they're putting in it it's awful. As I go through the grocery store, it takes me like an hour to get through because I read every single ingredient, and I don't really buy anything unless it has only whole ingredients in it for the most part. There's exceptions, of course. Now back to the main reason why many of you probably even watch this video is wanting to know what's gone on with Daily Wire. And what I will say about that is I think that there are so many amazing, wonderful people that work for the Daily Wire. I think 99% of their staff is good people that wants to do what is good and right in this world, and they truly care about making a difference. And I have so much respect for the impact that their company has had in the conservative movement. They've done so much good work. I've been incredibly disappointed in some of the actions that their leadership has taken over the last few years. That's been sad for me to see as somebody that has had so much respect and admiration for this company. I'm sure that if you're here, you already watched what happened on Candace's channel. So I will leave that there as it is. That is what happened. What I explained was the full truth, and it was exactly what I experienced. I will be completely candid. I definitely toggled back and forth on taking that opportunity and sending in an audition. It was 100% something I considered, but the more I prayed on it and thought about it, the advice I got, I knew this was not the right decision for me. I would so much rather grow slowly. The reason that I do not post on this podcast all the time is because I am very busy with work and I love what I do and I care so much about it. I just spend so much time working that I can't always post edit. I mean, I edit everything for my podcast. I do all of that, and it takes an incredibly long amount of time and attention to detail. The reason that I wouldn't really share any names of anybody is because these people have been nothing but kind to me. They don't deserve, in my personal opinion, they don't deserve any hate. I honestly, just at the end of the day, I think it was a very unprofessional thing to do to a former employee. If you don't like Candace Owens, that's okay. You don't have to like Candace Owens, but to make a show that you advertise as making fun of the right and the left, and then the entire audition is making fun of Candace Owens, and then I'm seeing things saying it's called in the no-no. Like, it feels off to me. It's not for me. That's how I feel about it, and I wish that company succeeded.
So, and that's fine. You have a principle, and I think that's a fine move. I'm just wondering, did you have to so now, I guess in one hand, I guess it's good because you actually came out in support of Candace, but couldn't you have just had her redact that and not put your name out there and nobody would have been talking about you? It just seems odd that you lost favor with the left by talking negatively about transgenderism. So you come out in support of Candace. What are you going to get courage? Are you going to gain back the left? I just don't know what was the purpose of coming out telling everybody who you were? Because most of Candace's leads are people who are remaining, anonymous. Why did you have to come out?
I really truly do, because they were such an empire for so long. They impacted so many lives, and the Daily Wire is what brought me back to the right by watching. I mean, not completely. I did so much research outside of the Daily Wire, but watching their videos all the time and hearing these different opinions and people actually being able to defend their beliefs, which was so foreign to what I saw on the college campus where everybody was so far left-leaning. It's just that I want to get back to conservatives being able to all get along while we heavily disagree. I think most conservatives are heavily opinionated on so many of these issues, and that's okay. Conservatives tend to be heavily opinionated people. That's life. We can disagree and we can still get along. I mean, even with my friends, we all have some disagreements majorly, and we all still love each other because we all know that we are good people who care about one another. And that's all that matters at the end of the day, is having people to stand by you and have your back, no matter what you believe. Again, I will also add that Candace was nothing but kind to me. I was a little bit terrified. I prayed about it and I listened to worship music in the car, and I honestly had a lot of peace about it after. And I wasn't completely sure, but it was I want to say around 10:30 or so the night before, and I genuinely could not sleep because it was all I could think about, what I knew and what was going on. And I had a guilty conscience about it, genuinely. And I decided to send in an email. She got back to me and she was so incredibly kind to me. And it's just so crazy to me because I always expect people that are these like empire of human beings to not really care about the little people. I've never met someone that is this huge that was so kind. I mean, it was ridiculous how kind and welcoming she was to me and how much she cared about making sure she had my back. I just want to say to Candace, thank you so much, because not everybody is like that. A lot of people, when they get huge, they start to change, and you can see that. And I don't see that with Candace, and I am so grateful for how kind she has been to me. And so I will leave all of that there. Oh, the Alps thing was crazy. Hey, Alps. Hey. That was crazy. My friends, I didn't even see it at first. My friends were like, wait, what? Alps? What? And I was freaking out about that. I mean, the whole day, my head was like actually exploding. I didn't expect so much of this to happen, not at all. I literally, nothing felt real yesterday, and I saw so many of the kind comments. After what I went through at SCAD and the intense level of cyberbullying, I was really scared that something similar might happen. I wasn't really sure what the result of this would be, but I am so grateful to the good Lord above that I did not send in that audition tape and that I stood by what I believed in. And I am so grateful for every single person that has followed me and commented something kind and just given me support in any way. That means the world more than you could ever know. And I know that I do not always post on here super consistently. It's really hard. I want to make sure I get all the details right and I'm accurate about everything and I'm doing my research. And so sometimes it just takes me a while to get there, and that's that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every single person that has been so kind and supportive to me the last 48 hours. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week.
Okay, so I don't know. I'm conflicted. One, it's an audition. You're not a superhero because you didn't apply for a job. Maybe I should go around and say, hey, I'm a superhero because I did not apply for the job XYZ. And you're like, well, Jason, you just didn't apply for the job. Like, I don't know how you become like a hero or a heroine just because you don't apply for the job. That just seems pretty weird. However, I understand what she's saying. And I think, maybe it's because nobody really has checked out her podcast. Maybe that's why she did such a long opening and such of that nature. I'm not 100% certain. I believe that the Daily Wire only wanted the content to be about Candace. Now, granted, what we saw was pretty brutal, but I don't think that was all that they were going to be talking about, in my opinion. I'm sure they would have talked about other topics. I don't think that was it. So I don't know if you're really, okay, fine. You just did not get a job. Okay, great. I hope you get another one. I hope you get a better job than what you could have got. I just don't think that this is, I don't know what the flex is. What's the big flex? You said, yeah, I don't, it would have been Candace. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this would pan out. I personally don't think it's a start. Right. I personally think Daily Wire is just trolling her. I think they're just messing with her mind. They got her going in circles. They got her all frustrated, all discombobulated, all up in a tizzy because today's thumbnail, she's dropped it. It's going to go live at 6 o'clock. She got the F word in it. Like, don't F with cats. I don't even know what that even means, but I'm sure it's going to be something ridiculous. And I personally think the Daily Wire is just trolling her. I think they're just trolling her. They got her attention. They know she's trying to do something. She's trying to move, and they're just going to siphon some of that air out, reduce a little bit of that push, a little bit of that momentum, add a little bit of mockery to it, and she doesn't like it. She just doesn't like it. And I don't think there's any way that she's going to beat those charges. But I think I think it's funny. She doesn't like the Daily Wire mocking her, but she literally had a miniature ET on her set on Monday saying that was Brigitte Macron. But you don't want them mocking you. I don't understand. Like, to me, if you start it, then it is what it is. Then you just take what you get and you don't pitch a fit. You don't get upset about it. You just say, okay, and I dished it out. I got to take it. What do you say here, Ruben? Thank you so much for the 5. He says this: Maggie Werner is fake and has been trying to get Candace to notice her since 2024. She hid behind Christianity, but yet it's okay with Candace, which is another great point. Thank you so much for that $5 super. And I don't know much about the young lady, but that is interesting. Candace is okay with this woman's quote unquote Christianity because why? She sided with Candace. Anytime, she's not a fake Christian. What would she do if she finds out that the young lady's a part of the NAR or something, right? She disparaged the New Apostolic Reformation. She disparaged it, which, by the way, I don't support NAR either. But Candace was good with dunking on them. What if this young lady is? How does Candace know this young lady hey, maybe she's a Protestant, Candace. You remember what you said? Us Protestants are not intelligent. Remember that? So there you go. I don't know. So that's a fantastic point. And I don't think Candace has ever, but it doesn't matter. Let's just tell the truth, shame the devil. Candace doesn't care. She doesn't care about this woman's Christianity or her faith. She cares about the fact that the woman supports her. That's all that matters. That's it. End of the day, only thing that matters is that this woman rocks with Candace. And because of that, she's got to be good. She's got to be good because she supports Candace. That's it. No other way around it. End of day. Shout out to the best live chat. I appreciate y'all. By the way, Candace is going live in about 30 minutes. Let me just real quick. We a good brother, and I have not looked at his videos in a while. So let's go ahead and look at Mr. Nassim Black. He did a fantastic review of Candace this morning, and I have not had an opportunity to check it out. So we're gonna check it out together. What did you say here? Thank you so much for the 10. She says this: if she was so conflicted, what was the purpose of recording? She did that intentionally. But see, that's the problem. Sometimes I don't think people put together all of the scenarios and say, hey, if I say I'm conflicted, then I probably shouldn't be doing this part. Or if I say this bothered me, then maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I don't think people really consider that. Nassim says she cannot escape this. All right, let me bring this in. Good guy. Thank you so much, Queen, with a $50 super. My goodness, thank you so much. Mentioned to Nassim Black to do a live with you, and he gave a looking forward to it. Oh, happy new. Oh my gosh. Hey, I would love for him. Hey, he's welcome to come on. I'll shoot him another email, and we'll make that happen before the year's out. I'd love to have him on. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I'll shoot an email to him for sure. Okay, let's get going with no further ado. Well, first of all, Jason, bring it onto the screen. There we go. Bring it onto the platform. All right, of course, always green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
I can't. I cannot. I am not capable of whatever that. When I saw this, I realized I do not know enough words. I had to consult a thesaurus, and I still could not land upon the correct adjective to describe how I felt when I saw that tent. People taking selfies under a recreation. I don't know if it's actually the tent. It looks like it's pretty old.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nassim Black Show. My honor to be here with all of you again and again and again and again and again and again.
And again.
Here she goes, Candace Owens. Just more stuff, more rhetoric. And it's unfortunate. But, you know, as I've said, we will keep calling it out. We're not going to be shy about calling it out. We have to keep calling it out because you cannot let liars go unchecked. If you allow people to think, and it's working, it is working. There is so much evidence that it's working. Do not trust the bots. There's so many different accusations of bots being used on her account and all these other things. And what's true and what's not true, I don't know. I really don't know. But I tell you what is true. People are waking up, ladies and gentlemen. You have to see this tweet. So many of you know that Evan Kilgore has been, Evan Kilgore has been her, the Robin to her Batman, at least on Twitter. Candace Owens fans are mostly delusional and likely under a spell. I'm fully convinced she is running a psychological operation at this point. I'm glad I woke up. And that's very fitting for a person like him. Because as I said, ladies and gentlemen, he was the Robin to her Batman. I'm sorry. I don't know if I said it right the first time. Right. So
Yeah,
he was the
right.
sidekick and pushing these conspiracy theories on X and parroting and resharing all of her videos and all these questions and everything else. And if he's waking up, that is very, very telling about how many other people may be waking up and how fast it's actually happening. And same old, accusing and coming up with so much rhetoric, and it's just beyond. Now you have to see this clip, of course, from one of my favorite creators, Nathan Livingstone, Milk Bar, put together a clip of just, I remember seeing, I think it was Ruslan KD had did one of his videos actually on there. So shout out to Ruslan. Listen, that brother's amazing. He's amazing. I'm a big admirer of him and his content. Anyway, But one of the things he actually had said at one time, he had asked the question is, how many lies make you a liar? I remember him saying that. And the truth is, that's a question for all of you. How many times do we have to hear lies from this individual for us to just be like, okay, yeah, she's a liar. Roll clip 4.
When I am long gone from this earth, the history books are not going to tell the truth about the things that I did. They're not going to tell the truth about.
You will not be making any history books. I don't know why. I stop her more than anybody else. Almost anytime we do reactions, I don't like to stop the film, but with her, it is so obnoxious. It is so far left field. It is so, arrogant and just completely beyond the scope of reality. Some of the things that come out of her mouth, that it is hard for me to not stop these videos to say what I have to say. Candace will not be going into history books. I hope not. I hope not.
My contributions, but I want to be clear that I want to be remembered as the person who was holding the internet back. Last year, I was in earnest holding the internet back. Everyone was coming at Turning Point USA and all these allegations. And I was like, no, chill, just give them some time. Everybody grieves differently. Just give them some time. It's just different. I believe that people within that company betrayed Charlie. Yeah, I'm putting the fire here right at the feet of Turning Point because I am disgusted. I am genuinely disgusted. None of you guys are behaving in the way that you should be behaving. But I'm starting to think that the assassination of Charlie Kirk was something akin to a regicide, right? The assassination of a king to install a new ruler who the king would have never approved of. The way to honor him is to give money. I don't know. There's just something really sick and demonic about the entire thing. We just know. We just know that he was truly betrayed in one of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. And he was back at headquarters. I am told it's business as usual. And it's kind of giving me like, I don't know, LBJ when he gets sworn in that famous picture.
And at which point do we just admit that these are not sounding like questions? He was truly betrayed. I lost my faith in Trump. He gave so much to Trump. Everybody betrayed him. Like, is that a question or is that a statement? Sounds like a statement, right? If Charlie, it's horrible that Charlie's friends had to approve for him to get killed. I mean, that does not sound like a question. So all of these Cantifa fans who get on here asking, oh, prove her wrong, prove her wrong. The burden of proof is on her. If she's the one doing the investigation, right? That's what she calls herself, an investigator, right? She should be able to provide proof from her investigations. And she has insinuated, she's talked out the side of her neck. She has clearly flat out lied. Pierce Morgan, everybody. Oh, I never said that. These are not questions. She's no longer just asking questions.
Unfortunately, sworn in. Unfortunately, of course, he's sad in this photo. Gosh, he's obviously not wanting to be the president of the United States. JFK was shot and killed. And now LBJ has to step up, unfortunately. But I got to be honest, I wasn't there. I don't think LBJ was actually that upset. It's looking to me like the apparent plan was to assassinate Charlie Kirk, who had at long last faltered on the pro-Israel cause, and then to stage a hostile takeover of his brand and of his legacy. I want to know why the decision was made to murder Charlie Kirk.
So there's a question. I want to know why the decision was made to kill Charlie Kirk. Is a question? Yeah. But it's a question underneath an assumption of something that's true that you don't have evidence for. So not an assumption. really it's a question on something that you are insinuating. Like, I don't understand this. I mean, people have lost their mind to say, oh, she never really said anything. She just, she's investigating and asking.
That very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends. Cam Higbee is on the payroll of Turning Point USA beginning in August of this year. So in theory, Cam Higbee, who was laughing off the idea of an assassination attempt, is being paid by the very organization that just had its leader assassinated in broad daylight in front of the entire world. Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen. Put it at a percentage that you saw
Cringe.
that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erica Kirk. What percentage would you put that at?
That's 95 to 99%. Once I saw a picture of somebody in a ponytail with those eyes, that was that person. They were there.
Everyone was coming at Turning Point USA at all these allegations. I was like, no, chill. Last year, I was in earnest holding the internet back.
You can't make it up. You can't make it up. All I could do was show you, but I can't make it up because I'm just going to let you see it. I'm going to let you all see it. And it's the audacity that this woman has to literally think that she is at the center of the world is just beyond me. I can't understand how, and I'm going to show you why. There was recently I don't know if there was a glitch. I didn't talk to anybody at Daily Wire. I do got peeps over there. And I didn't ask anybody. But I'm almost certain that the plot you're about to get from Candace was completely made up. Completely made up. And as I've told you about many other people in most of our lives, you will hear things from people that come from the book of second opinions that don't come from any place or any source of truth. So, and Candace's ego, she has concocted. It's like one of those people, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's at least had one friend that just makes up fantabulous stories, right? They just make up fantabulous stories. And you just sitting there, and sometimes you gotta listen to them because you want to respect them on one level, and they're lying to you, and you're embarrassed for them. They're lying to you, and you're embarrassed for them, so you don't want to make them feel bad because you're embarrassed that they think you are silly enough to believe what it is that they're saying. And it's just the story's so outrageous that like this just can't be true. But you don't want to say it because like like everybody's got that. But then when you're with the other homies, you're gonna laugh about it when the other person leaves, right? This is Candace. She just, I literally feel she just makes this stuff up.
I agree.
Out of her head. Like she literally probably sits there and she ponders, she start thinking like, what can I turn this into? Not to be malicious. I mean, I just literally think she starts concocting all this stuff in her head. All right, real quick. Wait 1 second. I want to tell you about something really unique. I was invited to be
They premiered an before we went live. A bunch of people were messaging me saying that the Daily Wire had brought back my old YouTube channel. They had seemingly deleted it. Apparently, they just privatized it and they brought it back. And as you could see, they premiered an old trailer from when I was joining the Daily Wire. And this wasn't a mistake. This was not a mistake because they put a card in the front that said this was shot in 2021. So what are they doing? They also did the same thing on Instagram. My old Instagram channel, they re-released my trailer from when I was first joining them. So clearly they're trying to get attention for something. And I can tell you what that something is. I love scooping people when they're just being weird. First, I should say, I did have a little bit of sympathy over this break. I would like to apologize to the midget horse. The midget horse never deserved the FU. There's nothing wrong with being a midget horse. And I was a little fired up and I attacked a small horse that probably did nothing wrong, if I'm being honest. Now,
I just want to make a side point over here that when a person is really genuinely a person of faith and they know they just did something out of pocket in front of everybody. Now, I'm not saying that it is actually a sin, I guess I would say, to curse or whatever, but it's very telling about where you are and where you may be with your relationship with God when you use filthy and disgusting language and you can't hold yourself. Like you had to get on line. The amount of things you have to do before you set up and get on a podcast how much time you had to cool your nerves before you got on the podcast, presenting to the rest of the world before you scream F you to Ben Shapiro. It's so much time that you got worked up, like nobody like stopped you, told you like chill out or you're cool or whatever the case is. And then after that, all of that, you get on, and after you do it, then you come back, a month later almost, and then you apologize to the midget horse and not to the individual. And you never say anything like, I'm working on myself. I'm really trying to be. I just want the people that are listening to you to realize these things about you. They need to know these things about you, Candace, how much rot and filth. That's what that's what comes out, because that's obviously where you are. And I'm sorry to take it that low, but we have to be able to have discernment. We have to be able to feel out things. We have to be able to see what it is, like things in front of us, godly behavior. And if those things are not reflecting in the people that we are listening to, and the people that we're hearing, and the people and the information that we're consuming, and the source of where we're getting those from, then you best believe that it is damaging you.
More broadly speaking, the reason I had sort of snapped at the end of last year is that it has been a very long road, as I showed you an example of me just trying to be fired like a normal person. Just so you guys know, in a normal world, your employer, if they fire you, that should be the last you hear of them. You should.
Now, she didn't say, I don't know what she was actually insinuating there. I think all of us felt that the things that she started to release on the Daily Wire, as it came down to the wire, if I may add, was very, very much so against the unwritten guidelines of Daily Wire. Everybody was clear. A lot of people saw the clip that was floating around. I think it was Steven Crowder that actually released this video of Jeremy Bourne saying all the reasons why the Daily Wire actually let her go. And so the thing is that as that, video went out and it circulated or whatever, it was very clear for any person who understood Candace wanted to go off and do her own thing and become, the female version of Alex Jones. This is what she wanted to do. And obviously she's locked in a contract. So she wants to get out of the contract. You got to do things to get yourself to get fired. And that's what she was doing. She knew that she was going to get fired. And I don't say that she was disingenuine with her demonic stance on things. I think that was genuine. I think she was truly becoming, enthralled in this demonic ideology. However, she knew that by pushing out this content, she was going to get let go from the Daily Wire, thus be able to create the conflict that she wants, thus be able to have the fuel behind the anti-Semitism, anti-Jew, the Jew hatred that she has, right? She was going to be able to fuel all of that, rally people around her as she was doing it. So I think she did plot it out in order for her to get to this point. So she did what she could to be fired, and she got fired. And that's what happened.
Not then have them follow you to events, calling people, try to get you canceled from speaking events, putting pressure on people, lawsuits. That's actually toxic. And when I said to people that it was getting to a point where I felt like I was being stalked by them, I said this like privately. I said, I genuinely feel like when you break up with someone and you have a crazy ex, that was how it felt like being fired from the Daily Wire. Except in this circumstance, the ex broke up with you, but then I guess like maybe changed their mind or just didn't want to see you move on and be happy or successful. There was an element of this that felt, and I truly am not trying to be dramatic here, it felt like a crazy ex-stalker. Like, if I can't have you, nobody can have you, And so to connect this point, to build this corollary for you guys, that was how I felt. That was what I was expressing to you at the end of last year, that I was done with it, right? I was like, I'm leaving Daily Wire in 2025, come hell or high water. Well, they want hell or high water, because it turns out the reason they're doing this and doing it on my channel is because they are trying to hard launch a young woman named Madison Bransford. Okay. Now she's apparently an intern at the Daily Wire, and they're basically dropping like an iCarly type Nickelodeon feel show where she's going to make fun of me. And the show is entitled In the No-No, because apparently they want.
So one of the things somebody asked, can we make a list of everybody that Candace has doxed? And I think we need to, first of all, determine. The word dox doesn't necessarily have to mean that I read out your name, your address, your social security number, your phone number, and your dog's favorite kibble, right? Doxing can be as much as her just giving out that woman's name, because there's just too many ways for people to find information nowadays. And she's already said the young lady is an intern at Daily Wire, and this is her name. That's really enough to get a lot of information and really start harassing that young lady. And please understand, the young lady, if we're understanding correctly, that video was just an audition tape. So it wasn't even like it was a pilot for the show or anything like that. She was literally just auditioning for a movie, or sorry, for a show. And so one of the things I keep saying, like, Candace is super reckless because she puts people's information out there with no regard that people are going to hurt. Cantifa is going to look them up. Cantifa is going to look them up. And there's a whole list of people that they've done this to. And again, so it's not doxing in the sense that she gave your mom's maiden last name and the last four of your social. That's not it. It's a little bit more than that. And I think it's a little bit broader than that. In the fact, she just reads out people's names. And that's literally, sadly enough, to cause a lot of havoc. And we've had people get all kinds of experiences because of Candace just saying your name out there. Okay, let me finish this up because the show will be kicking on in a minute. So let's go.
Watch every second of my show, which they've been doing for a very long time. They used to send clips and have people make fun of me when I was first getting started. And so now, because they still can't let me go, and since Ben is now on stage bringing me up and saying, we don't know, but we know, like, it's giving crazy ex-stalker. They're now launching a show with this girl. I'm sure she's a lovely human being. It's basically like they tried to find someone that's similar to Brett, but it's not at all because it's not mature. And she's just going to make fun of this show. So that's what the Daily Wire has in store. I'm sorry to have scooped you on this new brilliant idea to hard launch something on my socials of somebody making fun of me. I'm sure you thought that was going to get some like huge applaud. It's weird. It makes me uncomfortable if I'm being.
I don't think, I don't know if there's any, like I said, I did not talk to my people at the Daily Wire. So I don't know. How I can tell you this.
You don't know, but you know.
I highly doubt she's not a credible person. So even if she says that, I was very impressed that she didn't give one of her anonymous sources. I think she just belted it out. You know what I'm saying? So that it's just good muscle memory for the story that she probably came up with, at some time when she was just, concocting all of this. However, she is wrong in one thing. I don't think there was any part of Daily Wire running around after Candace Owens. Like I said, she had been so against what they had stood for as a company and an organization. They didn't care about where Candace went and what she was doing. They would not mention Candace's name. I mean, Ben went on interview after interview after interview. Andrew Clavin, everybody. I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about it. There was no obsessing. Nobody desired to continue to, seek out Candace. There was no discussion to be had. She literally, and my personal opinion, makes stuff up. Now, if the show is actually happening, it could be a little bit of truth mixed with a lie. I mean, because all lies have some truth to them, right? Maybe they are working on this show. Maybe there is something to this intern. Maybe she is one of the many things that the person is going to be making fun of, because Candace, listen, if you're running a circus, people are going to come and see. It just is what it is. However, before this last clip I want to show you, I actually want to take you guys over to Twitter. And I want to show you right here on the Twitter, shout out to Jackie Shea. I guess Shay. Anyway, she does this comparison. If you look at Candace in 2019, and then you look at her in 2025, she says it's quite a trip too. Look, if you look at it. Okay, so in 2019, she says, with you, brother. I don't know who she was commenting to, but she was commenting to somebody. With you, brother. Time's up on this nonsense. This country was built upon Judeo-Christian values. The left routinely mocks Christians, defends anti-Semitism, and demands we all shut up about Islam. No, and no. We are not going to talk about it.
We are going to.
We're not going to talk about it.
We are going to talk.
Now, here she goes at 2025. Listen, and this is what I'm saying. You guys can't make it up. It's all right here. You can't make it up. Here she goes. No matter how hard the GOP tries to make radical Islam, quote unquote, radical Islam happen, the base doesn't care about it. We are way more concerned about Israel. Wow, priorities. You can deny reality and scream about Tucker, but the party can no longer be governed by those who refuse to acknowledge the Zionist elephant in the room. And that's what I'm saying. It's drastic. It's a drastic change with her and Tucker's, those two specifically, really, There's other people who have also, but these are drastic changes that you can't just walk away and explain something different. So now, because then you got to answer a whole nother question. Oh, they made me do. Who was they? I was convinced. I was wrapped up because of what? Who did it for you? Or then you getting paid by Israel? Is that what was happening? Were you then getting paid or sponsored by AIPAC or something like that of that nature? Was that conditioned for you to work at Prager or for you to work at the Daily Wire? You had to parrot pro-Israel rhetoric in order for you to get paid. That was the only way you were afraid that you weren't going to get your paycheck or something like that, Candace. Because I want to know what happened to you in between that time. We all know what happened. You married your husband and he's an anti-Semite, and we know what happened. Anyway, but this is what it is. These are drastic changes, even if you didn't have some great awakening. This is so far off from who you used to be, or at least who you used to pretend to be. It's ridiculous. All right, roll clip 6.
Edge was when I saw the tent. Okay, I am never going to get over this tent. I could spend a week discussing this tent. I could probably do a month of content describing the tent and how I felt seeing the tent and what this tent actually now represents. What am I referring to? Let's take a listen to a reporter who was at AmFest describe the scene behind her in the hallway outside of the speaking area. Take a listen.
And you can see from behind me, this is a recreation of the tent where Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah University in September, and people are taking selfies with it.
I can't. I cannot. I am not capable of whatever that. When I saw this, I realized I do not know enough words. I had to consult a thesaurus, and I still could not land upon the correct adjective to describe how I felt when I saw that tent. People taking selfies under a recreation. I don't know if it's actually the tent. It looks like it's pretty old, or a tent that Charlie died under. That's what was happening at AmFest. Horrified. I was aghast. I don't think I ever described myself as aghast. I was aghast. It was gas to me.
You're gassy?
Okay. So guys, I
Real
just
quick.
have to say this.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Neem finish it up. Do some research on the tent, just in case if you're bothered by it. Do some research on it.
That is not an unusual thing. When you go to a museum, the Holocaust, if you will go to and I know these things are in time and in space, but you just do. You go to I think, they have some of these museums. I think there's one in Virginia I was told about the slavery. You could go and see, and there's a simulation of being, on the boat during the Atlantic slave trade. And there's many different things like that. October 7th, there was murals. Shout out to Scooter Braun. I don't agree with him on everything, but he's a sweet guy. Met him, good guy. But he put on these beautiful murals that he was putting on for October 7th. And people do that all the time. Memorials. They do different things like this all the time, and even more so. And I think this is a really crazy thing. And I think that if we're honest about this, I think you all understand where I'm coming from. Just right behind her shoulder is a crucifix, a cross with Jesus on it. Now, I'm just being in all honesty, and I'm just saying to you, all of you Christians, that's okay. That's what you believe. Totally fine. I'm down. I'm for you. But is that not the same thing?
That's a good point.
Even more worse. That is a gruesome death to die. Right. And there were many Jews crucified. I mean, you would go and see fields of Jews hanging on stakes, crosses, whatever there was. And so Christians wear that as a symbol of their faith and have for a millennia, including Mrs. Owens herself. not to compare Charlie Kirk with Jesus. I'm not doing that. He was a man of God, great guy. That's not what I'm saying, at least for the Christian world. I'm not saying that to you. But what I am saying to you is that it's not unnormal or not uncommon for people to make murals for people who have passed away that show, especially in a martyr type way that Charlie Kirk passed, doing the thing that he loved, doing everything that he represented. The mural wasn't even just about his death. It was really about his life. That was about what he did and his contribution to the world, to the conservative party, to the youth, to the young people, the young college kids. It meant everything to Charlie. I'm just saying, it's one by one, this lady is taking L's. And I'm sorry, I'm getting more and more passionate about it because I see people are waking up. And I am encouraged by it. I genuinely am encouraged by it. That means God is winning. That means that the truth is winning. That's what that means. I'm very, very deeply encouraged by it. Like, subscribe, please share this video. And above all, remember, serve God or to live trying. I'm out.
Grace and peace, Mr. Neeson Black. Thank you so much. I appreciate him. Yes, Candace is going hot in a few moments. So let's go ahead and get that queued up. It is not on yet, though. It is not on yet. And I do want to say I'm not playing bingo tonight because I do have to go pick up my wife from the airport. So I do have like a hard stop. So it can't be super long, but we will do our best to be as entertaining as we can. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Let's see what we got here. Well, appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. This chat is amazing. Absolutely. I see the people have jumped in. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in the door. Make sure you say hey to your people. Say hey, what's happening? All that kind of good jazz. I deeply appreciate y'all. Thank you so much to everybody who's jumped up in here. Letting you know real quick, I got it queued up, so y'all don't have to worry. I'm ready. People say I'll be off task over here, but I'm on task. I'm on task. All right, lots of good conversation going on in the best live chat. I think we have I believe on bingo. Don't quote me on that. Oh, by the way, she's not supposed to have a show tomorrow. So what we'll be doing tomorrow evening, because I have some dad duty at the high school tomorrow evening, is we'll go over the motion to dismiss verdict, whether or not they're going to dismiss the Macron case or not. I don't foresee them for dismissing it, but we'll be looking at that tomorrow, as well as probably some body cam and probably some laughing and giggling at Candace, like we always do pretty much every day. Shout out to the best live chat. Thank you so much, man. What do we have here? What does Irene say here? Why are people criticizing those who give Candace a taste of her own medicine? When Candace harasses and mocks people, they make excuses for her. There you go. Thank you so much for the 5. And what we have here, I appreciate the 2. Tilly Tile paying homage to internet investigators. Shout out for sure. All right. Let's see. She got a new intro coming up. Okay, she got a new intro popping up. Let me get this out the way so y'all can see that I'm ready. I'm ready, y'all. Don't be on your boy. I'm ready. Okay. Yeah, let's put it like this so we can all be queued up in here. Thank you so much. And what we have here, I bought her book. It was nothing but blank pages. I mean, she's supposed to be making her man a sandwich. What's up with that? Thank you so much, Mike, for the 20. I'm trying to start a movement to move Matt Walsh to do a mockumentary starring Ami as Can't Miss Everdeen in the lead role. What you think, Jason? Mod Edie? You have a blonde wig and some green contacts. I love it. I think she went and found them. So, hey, it could be a thing. I appreciate it. Candace Owens podcast, Daily Wire, YouTube posted a response. Really? Oh, now I got to go over and jump over there and look. The YouTube channel, the Candace, the Daily Wire podcast has responded. Oh my gosh. All right, then that's definitely going to be during the commercial break. Let's see. Let me see. I don't see it. I don't see it. Let me look. If in the mods see it, drop it in the group chat. That'd be great. The Daily Wire did a response. Now, of course, we've already seen the crazy X. We saw that, and that's been up. But they did another one. No, I don't think they did another one. It's the same one we saw yesterday. Okay, or the one we saw actually just a moment ago. Truth be told, I appreciate it though. Thank y'all. All right, so Candace is on that CP time. That's for sure. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you, Debbie. Thank you so much, Deb, for coming through. Appreciate it, love. Candace doesn't talk about policies, just brain rot gossip. I mean, really, I think it's going to be interesting. Like the young lady that she wanted to promote and push out doesn't lead with all the things that Candace leads with. I wonder does she know that? That woman going to be person non grata next Tuesday. Did she retire her jigsaw start with the TV? Yeah, I think she's done with that and she's doing something new. And this is actually a strategy that some content creators do. I don't like it. And what it is when you put in this intro right here, this is really like a 5-minute intro. Some content creators put like a countdown timer and such like that, or they'll play music, whatever like that. I don't really like it. I don't think it's the best way to do it. I think just go ahead and get started. When people jump in, give them what they're jumping in for. And that's what she's doing. So that's why this is playing like this, because she's just milking the clock, trying to wait till, basically do a 5-minute countdown timer or however long countdown timer. Shout out here. Howdy, fam. Please pray for me. I've got a migraine and Candace is going to make it worse. We'll be praying for you, Slayer Princess. Thank you for the 5. Hey, you can turn off Candace. You can turn her off. She is not, it's sad to say, she'll be here when you get back. Thank you. That was Charlie Kirk's trademark. Oh, you're talking about the tent. I'm going to say that one for sure. Let's go. She's in. Let's go.
I was just doing so much research. I have so much to tell you all today. So we have to jump right into this because I actually have a horror story for you, an actual real life horror story for you. Someone called me last night and told me a very strange story about what happened to her back in the 90s at an evangelical university. But first, we have to revisit Brian Harpole's story about how far in advance they typically plan security, because someone has leaked to me another glaring oddity in this security protocol. Let's jump right back in. Welcome back to Candace.
Fort Hawktua is getting dissed. No planes will be had. Oh my gosh. This woman is so sad. She's so sad.
Do you know what I think? I think that whoever made the decision for Brian Harpole to sit down with Sean Ryan made a terrible mistake. Big PR mistake, PR nightmare. That's kind of been the story here. One long, bad PR decision after the next, because the issue is Brian said too much. The internet is meticulous. The internet is clocking them every sentence. It's really easy to catch people in inconsistencies and then to keep replaying what they said about certain things, especially when they don't add up. So I would like to gently remind you all back at home what Brian Harpole said about what typical preparations entail for Charlie Kirk events. Take a listen.
Let's move into the threat assessment and the pre-planning for the event.
Absolutely.
How many days prior were you guys there?
We generally, the permitting process and all that goes on behind the scenes. And then there's a questionnaires that are filled out that we used to, there was a lot of busy work. And then so, kind of like in the military, what you did, we create forms that, hey, let's get this information up front.
Mm-hmm.
And so that we have a duplication process so that we can confirm it. And so we started our first, before that one, the 24th of the month prior. And so, and that was with the hard conversations, meetings.
You started that on the 24th?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guarantee you right now, this is going to be nothing but, oh, you did something that I don't like and I don't think it's right, and therefore it's bad. I guarantee you.
Right. And we
That's
do
2 weeks
At
Really?
least. Well, it started before that with the intelligence gathering and all that. But the hard conversations, the sharing of information, the conference calls, the data sheets, and we put that in a timeline on an app, so that this all goes up, and every guy that's on that job can see all the intel that comes in. It's a decentralized command model for the company. And so anybody can make command decisions for the betterment of the client or the team. And so everything goes on that app. And so when I get it, they get it. And when whoever's gathering that intel, it gets it. There's no hold, there's no power hold on it. And so that first information came in on the 24th, and then the information share starts, where we're walking through, everything that you need for a detail.
Everything that you need for a detail. Obviously, elsewhere in the interview, he describes this conversation that he had with the chief of police. He's upset about the chief of police not covering the rooftops because he feels that his team was on it. So on it. You're coordinating with whole police departments. You're discussing drones. Drones were not allowed. And so they just had to let that go. Well, interestingly enough, I received a tip from someone that
Oh
was
gosh.
directly involved with the planning of an event that Charlie Kirk was supposed to attend the following day, on September 11th, the day after his assassination. Charlie was slated to speak in Woodland Park, Colorado, at the Charis Bible College. Okay, so that's in Woodland Park, Colorado. He was slated to speak there. And according to this person, after Charlie got assassinated, there was a bit of a panicked meeting that took place, which was headed by the chief of police. They decided to transform this event into a vigil, and they were panicked because, believe it or not, they had absolutely no security plan in place. They thought, how odd. We don't have a security plan in place. Now we better consider this, and we need to make sure that we have police officer involvement.
That is so wild, man. So the big deal, and if you're just jumping in, make sure you go to the beginning of the video. We met Dr. Anna, who explained this conspiracy theory mindset that Candace espouses. Definitely check her out. Whatever. This is so gross.
Why didn't Dan Flood and Brian Harpole and Turning Point USA's security have any coordination with the police departments up in Colorado? If this is what they normally do, and whatever the way he over describes that, and they get the plan, and everybody can access and start to begin to speak, and then we speak to the police. I mean, we do all this stuff. We just didn't think to do that for the event that he had the next day. No police officer involvement scheduled, nothing. Suddenly they're panicked because they realize they don't have anything scheduled. Yeah. So the police chief apparently decided to take measures himself to make sure that the vigil went off without a hitch. That's what I mean. When you lie a lot and when you're planning things you're not supposed to be planning, you don't think through every detail. Yeah, as in the next day. If you expected Charlie to make it to September 11th, you would have been communicating about what he was doing up at the Charis Bible College. Anyways, moving on to other news. I want to show you this working Excel sheet that I quickly put together today. So it is by no means perfect, but I was telling you that throughout this
I
investigation,
want my plain data. Where my plain data at? Now, I don't care about any Excel. Where the plain data at, Brenda?
I have noticed some recurring themes that have come up. Didn't really know what all this means. I still don't know what all of it means.
You
I wanted
really
to start
don't.
jotting this down and putting it together.
So
that
why
it
should
looks
people
clean. We
move
can
on it?
Just
Like the fact that it is awe-inspiring, the fact that she is so boneheaded that just because you don't know something, everybody in the live chat, there's 1,200 people in the best live chat on the internet. Every last one of you is an expert at something that the rest of us is not an expert at. Every last one of you. And if I'm sure if I just tap somebody to tell me about something that they're an expert at, I would not understand all the ins and outs of it. And just the fact that it's gross that she really pretends like, well, because I don't know this or I don't understand this, or I got a tip from my, lie to me at CandaceOwens.com. website that, oh, Brian Harpo is a suspect. Oh, I got this Excel spreadsheet I made. I just made the spreadsheet today, which is nasty work, by the way. I just made the spreadsheet, and that's my evidence. I cannot take this woman seriously. So that's why we mock her. So when y'all say, yeah, well, you shouldn't be mocking her, I'm going to keep doing it. Don't even waste your time typing it. Don't even say it, because I'm going to do it more. Because this is woman, there's nothing else to do but mock her and make fun of her. Her and Cantifa, by the way, stop the press. Cantifa, you know y'all can get right up here to the front of the church. I already know where y'all supposed to be sitting. Get on up here at the beginning of the church and stop playing. Get up here. So, no, this is just dumb. Like, and it's exhausting to think like these men and women are dealing with the fact that they had to lose a very dear friend of theirs, somebody they were responsible for, and you busy over here saying, well, you didn't have a security plan, and you just got this tip. We don't even know it's true. Well, you didn't have a security plan for the school the next day.
Add another name every time a name comes up in any of these categories. This isn't how you're really supposed to use Microsoft Excel, but it's how I'm using it so that it looks neat. If you just look over here at the columns, these 4 themes that I'm identifying, and I'm going to add more: Liberty University, Eastern Europe, trafficking and child sex abuse, and then in that final column, military. These are just themes that I recognize keep coming up. So Liberty University, very quickly going through this, Tyler Boyer attended and he graduated. Erica Kirk attended and she graduated. Cabot Phillips attended and he graduated. Mikey McCoy was accepted into Liberty University, but then he chose not to attend because he got the job at Turning Point USA instead, and he went direct there after high school. It should be noted that his father, Rob McCoy, met Charlie Kirk via Jerry Falwell Jr. He was the president of Liberty University until there was a sex scandal fallout. Andrew Colvett, I'll tell you what his connection is. Andrew Colvett was working PR for the Kairos company under Johnny Moore. Johnny Moore was the lead pastor at Liberty University prior to then leaving Liberty University to start the PR firm. And Johnny Moore is an important name for those of you who watch. The Tucker Carlson had interviewed someone in the military. He was speaking about what was happening in Gaza, how children were literally starving, how children were being shot at for fun. Bizarrely, they decided that Johnny Moore, Reverend Johnny Moore, is it Reverend Johnny Moore? I don't know. He was somehow equipped to lead the Gaza Humanitarian Fund, and he gets this role. Essentially, you're going to distribute your organization, you're going to be the head of distributing the food to the children of Palestine, the families of Palestine. And obviously, we know how that went. IDF soldiers just killing them. And so he does a lot to say, I have no idea why he got this position. It seems remarkably corrupt. Anyways, I wanted to let you know who that Johnny Moore was. He was just running PR. He's a PR guy like Andrew Colvett, who was under him. And then Andrew Colvett leaves Kairos and decides to mint his own PR firm that's really just around Charlie Kirk, really, as his only client. I believe that's his only client, Turning Point USA. Then you have the Falkirk Center. I'm going to put that in the same category. In case you don't know this, what happened was Jerry Falwell Jr. and Charlie Kirk decided to come together to establish the Falkirk Center. This was actually Turning Point USA, the precursor to Turning Point USA, right? So he meets Rob McCoy. They start discussing putting this.
I just want you to take a second and realize this woman believes what she's saying, what she has here on this Excel spreadsheet is some bombshell evidence of something. I just want you to think about that. Like, I have no idea what we're watching. I have no idea. I want to go back to Daily Wire. I almost want to send them a donation that they might like put out the whole casting call and just receive videos and just upload videos of people mocking her. This is ignorant.
Together, the Falkirk Center. And then Jerry Falwell has this huge sex scandal. He's forced to step down. It's like this pool boy scandal. He's forced to step down from Liberty University. And now this project we can't go forward with this. This is hugely embarrassing to the university. This is now going to be a relic. By the way, at that time, Erica Francevy, because her and Charlie were not yet married, they were dating. She became a Falkirk Fellow. They were kind of hitting the road together and working to make the Falkirk Center a thing. And so what happened after it fell apart was that they decided to instead create Turning Point Faith. That's important for you to know that this origin in Liberty University, because I'm going to tell you more in a bit. Now,
Well, it's a bit
regarding
all right.
Eastern Europe, remember that plane that sort of mysteriously people thought it turned off its transponder? They issued a statement saying they didn't turn off their transponder. It flew from Provo, Utah into Arizona. And then he said, we were just picking people up. Well, I'm putting that under because in investigating that, I determined that, oh, interesting. They were formally registered. That plane, pardon me, was formally registered in Romania back in 2013. The tail number was then YRNVY, almost looks like Navy there, YRNVY. And then in 2015, so from 2013 to 2015, that plane was registered in Romania. Interesting. Okay. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'm just telling you that this is when these things have come up. Obviously, we know that Erica Kirk began the Romanian Angels Project in late 2012, early 2013 through to 2015. And obviously, you have seen all the TikToks describing the scandal. And to explain that to you, just to kind of separate the myth from the facts of this, I'll tell you what the facts are. The facts are that Lori Francevy established the Everyday Heroes Foundation, which was supposed to help children in need. That was established in Arizona under Erica's mother's name, Lori Francevy. What they decided to do, as charities do, is that they develop certain projects and certain missions. And what spun out from Lori's charity was the Romanian Angels Project. And they got this deal with the military. They worked with the military in Romania to help orphans.
This
Okay.
woman is
Now,
evil.
it is a fact that they worked with, at that time, Colonel Otto Buscher. Colonel Otto Buscher was then accused of running a brothel with young children, taking them onto the military base for himself, his sexual needs. A woman filed in Romania and said, this is what's actually happening. These children are going onto the base and they're being prostituted to military men. So it was not, there is no articles that say Erica Francevy or Lori were involved in this, but it is a fact that they were working on the Romanian project with Colonel Buscher.
Why
They
are you
thanked
even
him,
bringing this
and
up?
then Colonel Buscher gets accused of running a Romanian brothel with Romanian children. Those are the facts of that. In
That's
2011,
gross.
Tyler Boyer also went to Romania to work with the Romanian government. I am still trying to determine exactly what he was doing with them. I'll have more on that hopefully later.
I'm sure
In
you'll come up with something.
2013, Tyler Boyer posted a photo of himself with a Ukrainian orphan named Natalia. She doesn't, he says in the post, or
She
his
became
wife
the
says
Black
in the
Widow.
post, current wife says in the post that she doesn't speak English, Natalia. And he claims to be helping through an adoption agency program, helping her because he speaks Russian. I can show you that photo. Actually, we have that photo somewhere. Skylar, can we pull up that photo of that post?
Can you imagine
have that?
thinking that this is useful
Great. Here we go.
information?
You guys know I'm not making this up. This was posted by his wife. This is Natalia. She is 12 years old and she's an orphan from Ukraine. She's staying with my
This is
friend Aubrey
non-tent.
and her family for the holidays through an adoption agency program. She does not speak English, so Tyler was able to go and talk with her in Russian for over an hour tonight. She was shy at first, but by the end of the visit, she was hugging him and asked him not to leave. It was a wonderful yet heartbreaking experience. All at the same time, it makes me so grateful for all that we have. Thank you to the OBS report for letting us be a part of Natalia's stay. Okay. Next, we have Turning Point USA, obviously working with Pastor Greg Laurie, despite
So this is
Harvest
important
Church
information.
being
Why?
accused of trafficking children from Romania. Okay, sure. He says that's not true. That's not what we were doing. People say, yeah, it's exactly what you were doing. We don't know. We don't have a verdict on that because that's happening currently. Andrew Colvet's brother, Curtis, is currently stationed in
Wow.
Romania as a lieutenant colonel. We have Tyler Boyer, who holds a degree in Russian studies and is fluent in Russian, which is similar to Astrid Tumenez, by the way, the president of UVU. She also holds a degree in Russian studies and is fluent in Russian. And I should mention she's an orphaned child. Might be relevant, might not be relevant. Who knows? Rob McCoy, I don't know if you knew this, but he adopted a 12-year-old girl named Natalia. She now goes by Natasha from Russia around 2006. Okay. So I don't know. It's these are just facts. I'm
Why are
giving
you
the facts here.
disparaging them then?
Now, regarding trafficking, sex abuse,
Wow.
I N88 KG, which is now currently owned by Derek and Shalane Maxfield.
Okay,
They
everybody,
run
I'm making,
Sapria, which
yo, I don't
is
know.
a
I don't know what's wrong with this woman. I don't know why her internal consternation, her internal clock is so broken that she thinks this makes sense. This is disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm making an audible call. I'm just going to zip to the end of wherever. I'm not going to sit here and listen to this foolishness. It has nothing to do with the deletion of Charlie Kirk. It has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. I'm not going to watch this stuff. This is disgusting. And this woman is vile and wicked. And she only goes every day. I think she just gets on and asks the demon that possesses her, how can I prove to Jason that I am not a Christian today? I think that's what she does. That's her internal prayer, her external prayer while she's slinging cat guts all around the place. What can I do to prove to these people that I'm not a Christian? That's what Candace does. Okay, so I've just jumped to the end of it. I have no idea what she's talking about. And I apologize if you jumped on here because you like us to follow line upon line. I'm not doing that. I'm not. This is disgusting to even bring up these conversations as if something's wrong with them. I'm sorry. This is gross.
ran psychological operations for naval intelligence to shape public perception. His son, Danny McCoy, is currently in the military. Yeah, he had a whole naval fleet named after him, actually. So top dog. We obviously know Erica Kirk has been open about the fact that her mother and her father do defense-related military work. It's why she moved to Arizona in the first place, because they had contracts with the DoD, and we know that her father has worked with Raytheon. The Farnsworth family has extensive military connections. I will add more about that later, and we will cover that later because the Farnsworth family in general is important to the story.
You know, but it's funny. She never talks about her own in-laws. She never talks about her own in-laws and their connections with all of these. I'm sure if somebody put their thumb on it, they can find as much dirt on her husband and his family, and probably her family too, as she's doing here. This is just gross, man.
Dr. Frank Turek was a naval flight officer for 8 years. His son, Frank Turek III, is a deputy division chief, at the Joint Chief of Staff in D.C. His other son, Spencer, is an Air Force vet.
Why do you think this is
he was
important?
on the phone with, I think he said both of his sons, FaceTiming with both of his sons. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's one of his sons he was FaceTiming with. The Hades military plane, which we haven't discussed too much, but I promise we will get there.
You never will.
Inexplicably flew this route around UVU on the day of the assassination, just before and just after, which is interesting because that plane in particular has a lot to do with drones. Again, we'll get more into that in a future episode.
Then,
of course, the doctors. Dr. Lee Trotter did his residency on an Air Force base, and he also has his pilot's license. The Utah medical examiner, Dr. Deidre Amaro, is a major. Butch Hibbs, we have Jack Hibbs, their father, Butch Sr., military background, and I suspect Butch Hibbs also perhaps is involved in the military himself.
Oh my gosh.
We're looking for something a bit more concrete on that. Now, I wanted to present that to you
because you're crazy.
I want to focus on building that so you can see these themes recurring. But today we're going to talk more about Liberty University.
Wow.
Because I received a very interesting set of tips about Liberty University. Particularly yesterday, I was contacted by someone. Well, actually, I should say I spoke to someone yesterday. I was contacted by them many times via email, pleading for me to call. She was pleading for me to call her. It wasn't really clear to me as to why there seemed to be a panic. She was seemingly triggered by a video regarding Trump pageantry. Okay. The video in question is not controversial, and she has no connection to the person in the video, which was Erica Kirk, simply discussing how she got involved with the Trump pageant world. Hence why I was not exactly seeing the big picture. She doesn't know Erica. She had nothing to say about how Erica knew Trump pageants, but her speaking about it was triggering for her. Anyways, after a lot of back forth, I decided to just call her. I had some time yesterday to see why Trump pageantry in general was so triggering to her. And she began to tell me a story that was quite unbelievable at first until I did some research. This woman, whose identity I am going to protect at this moment,
What in the
was a young teenager in the 90s, and she
what
had
in the Sam Dickens are we listening to? What's this got to do with anything? It doesn't matter. I don't even know what she's gonna say. I don't even know what she's gonna say. What I'm gonna tell you though is none of it's gonna matter. It will not tell me why Tyler Robinson chose to delete Charlie Kirk. That will not happen. Finish this up, Jason.
landed herself in a bit of trouble. She wound up with a probation officer, and she also got pregnant. And they essentially told her, hey, you know, you're either going to get your life together, sort of this ultimatum. We could send you to juvie, or you could go away and we'll give you an opportunity here. There's this amazing new program that's being run out of Liberty University, which helps troubled teens, which you are a troubled teen. She was 13 at this time. So obviously, they made the decision for her to take the option. It's like when the judge says, hey, you can go to rehab or you can go to prison. Obviously, I'm going to go to rehab. So she chose to go down to Lynchburg, Virginia, while she was pregnant to live in a house with other troubled girls who were being helped through a program that was known as the Godparent Program. It still is a thing today. Effectively, they help these young women on who are struggling with various other things, but particularly with her and the women that she was sharing rooms with, their pregnancy journey. And they offer to help place their children into adoptive Christian homes should they choose not to keep their children. Sounds nice enough. That seems like, you know, the Christian spirit, pro-life, and don't have an abortion. Instead, we can have a home for your child to be raised in. But things got pretty weird after that. And I want you to listen to what she told me in this conversation, which I recorded. And yes, I have her permission to share this conversation. I'm sorry if this sounds, not too clear. We tried to make it as clear as possible. And yeah, let's just roll it. It's going to.
I'm gonna stop for a second. This is the exact same thing she did with Mitch Snow. She got a tip. She ran with the tip. She did as much quote unquote vetting as she could between sleeping and homeschooling and preparing for her recorded show, and then comes and presents it the next day. This is the exact same thing she did. And she's just putting this poor woman, this is ignorant.
Be quite long, but it's very important. Take a listen.
When I got to the Liberty Godparent home, which is what took me in 94, they used to lock us in our room 24 hours a day. We were locked in our room. We weren't allowed visitors. We weren't allowed people at our home. I didn't have no visitors because I didn't have no family there, of course. And I'm shaking. I didn't have no family there, so I didn't have nobody. They used to take weird pictures of us.
How old were you?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
How old were you?
I had to be 13, 14.
Okay, and who took
born
pictures?
79.
Who took pictures of you?
Senior. And then his face looked familiar, but he looked older now. You're talking 30 years ago, you know.
Mm-hmm. But Jerry Falwell Sr. was the one actually taking the photos?
Yeah, I remember him and his wife there, but another thing weird about it is I never thought about like what happened the morning I delivered my baby. Everything was weird, and I think about it now, it's all weird to me, but then it wasn't because I was only 13, 14 years old.
Right.
I made mistakes. I mean, I totally turned my life around. I have 4 kids now, 2 grandbabies, but you know,
I want to go back to, so what was weird about that night that you gave birth?
Oh gosh, the night before, okay, so they have a live-in mother, 24 hours. I called there like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. This is what's weird. I called there right after I prayed. I called there because this video, Erica came up with Trump, and you have to get invited. And I was like, how in the world did I get invited? And to this day, I still don't know how in the world I got invited to that, and what pictures they had of me.
Interesting.
Now I'm mistaken again.
Okay.
In the chat, tell me, do you think Candace did any due diligence to ensure that this story was true? In the chat, just tell me, do you think she did any due diligence to ensure the veracity of this story? This is craziness. I really hope, y'all, I'm praying that Cantifa, Father, I pray right now that you will open up the eyes of those people who are deceived by Candace Owens, those people who are holding on to a hope and a wish and a prayer that what she's saying is edifying and building up to you and is the right thing to do. I pray, God, you open up their eyes, that they will see that they're being lied to, that this woman is a deceiver. She is a worker of iniquity. She is an accuser of the brethren, and she's a vile, wicked woman. I pray, God, that you will convict Candace's heart, that she will not be able to do this show anymore without being deeply, sincerely, and truthfully convicted that she's lying and she's trying to destroy people's lives. Whether it be these people have a checkered past or whether or not their past is as pure as a driven snow, we know that we all need Christ and we're all sinners. We all fall short. None of us have done everything correct. God, convict Candace's heart. Convict her heart, Lord, that she won't be able to sleep, that she won't be able to turn on her camera again and do this type of wickedness, really, truly working for the devil. Let her get fired from working for the devil, Lord. This is just gross, God. And I don't want to just rage quit, but I think I'm just going to quit this video because I just can't keep watching and listen to these stupid stories being told by people, whether they mean it or not, whether they're making up or not, but allowing Candace to do this, God. I just can't do it. I thank you so much in Jesus' name. Amen. Y'all, this is going to go on the list. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. I'm sorry. I have a video that's supposed to pop up a little later on tonight. I'm going to just make it available. It was a fun video about Candace throwing a tantrum, but I'm not going to do this. This is just ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do this to you. I'm not going to do this to the people that she's accusing. I'm not going to do that. I just can't. I just can't do it in good faith. It's just not right. I'm sorry. But I do want to say thank you so much for the very kind super chats. Yeah, I just can't do that to people. Well, I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Deb. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for the 5. Thank you so much for dropping in every day. It's been a long week, but this I just can't do this to y'all. I feel bad. I'm listening to this. I'm like, why am I doing this to y'all? Like, why am I doing this to you? Like, I feel like I'm the one doing it. I just can't do it. I just can't. Thank you so much, Smurf, for the $2. Yeah, we did see the video from Daily Wire, and we watched it a moment ago. So thank you so much for the $2. I appreciate you. What'd you say here? Snake with the $6.99 Canadian. Thank you for doing these lives. I don't want to give their channel any views. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. I appreciate the 2. Thank you. She's mad. They have degrees when she dropped out. Yeah. Like, I don't even have proof that she actually finished college. She says she did. And she says she has 2 degrees. I don't see any evidence to that fact at all. None whatsoever. I mean, I'll show you the program from the day I graduated. I'll show you my pictures. And of course, I'll show you my degree. I'll show you my transcript. I was a terrible student, but I'll show you my transcript. Like, Candace has shown no evidence that she graduated. Thank you, Phantom, for the 2. Liberty University is the largest evangelical school in America. And you just got to wonder, like, why is she attacking them? Yeah. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you, some guy with the 5. She's bringing this up to slander everyone on the spreadsheet. That's the only reason. None of this serves any other purpose. None whatsoever. And the fact that she does it with pride, the fact that she does it with no issue, No hesitancy at all. It's going to have to be studied by science. Thank you, Marine. Couldn't this episode be enough info to bring up defamation lawsuits? At this point in the game, Marine, I don't know anymore. I thought every time she turns on the camera, she defames somebody. At this point, I don't even know what does it take to get a defamation. And you got to wonder, like, why? It's like she's surfing. It's like she's fishing for a lawsuit every time. Like, what is the deal? Like, I get my whole channel blocked from live streaming because somebody shows a weapon on it. This chick comes on here and just defames people every day, and nothing happens to her. Who else ran in traffic in Romania? Oh, your boyfriend, your George Farmer's BFF. That's a great point. Thank you so much for that, Phantom. Yeah, good catch. I forgot about that, actually. Okay, we are watching a mentally ill person who is making money but starting to fall. This is what it looks like when you fall, became scattered. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is just ridiculous, y'all. I really, truly don't know what to do with this. So all these people supposedly pass of what may or may not be true or relevant, but Mitch's past isn't relevant. Just asking questions. She's sick. And you talking about the spreadsheet. Yeah. Like, just because my uncle was in the military, I'm on the spreadsheet, but Mitch has actual police reports. And even the fact that she said Mitch never went to jail, like, Mitch has gone to jail several times and spent a lot of time in jail. It's like, how are we doing this? Thank you for the 5. Thank you so much, Patrine, for the 5. She ties it all with military and faith and Jews. All have to do with trafficking. She's trying to destroy all of them. Yeah, I don't even, this is just gross, man. Phantom said again with the 2. Absolutely nothing wrong with the military or LC or IC. Yeah, I don't know what, for the life of me, I don't know why she has such a problem with the military. Thank you so much for the 10 right here. This is just about revenge for her at this point. She lives in the comments and sees what Erica gets accused of. She is after anyone she feels came after her. And the problem is, I think she's after anybody who came before her. Erica Kurt was Charlotte Kurt's wife. And I think that's what she really ultimately hates about her. Note that Candace Owens' friend, Andrew Tate, is accused of trafficking, just as these are accused. See, but he actually went to court. He was actually arrested for and stood trial for that, but had it dismissed. Thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate it. No question, no comment. Just pure love of the game. Connect Andrew Tate with Candace Owens. I mean, that's not even a hard connect. That's not even a hard connect. Y'all. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
Liberty Godparent Home.
I'm gonna make an audible call, and yeah, I don't want to sit here and listen to this woman who clearly it seems very clear she has some issues. I'm not saying she's mentally deranged. She has issues, and she runs to Candace to share and vet something from 30 years ago. These people don't make any sense at all. Yeah, I'm gonna make it audible. I'm going to go ahead and call it a game. Yeah, I'm not going to go back. I just can't, because I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. And again, you don't have to agree with everything, but I don't think it's right to drag somebody's past and you don't know what's going on and so forth. I'm not going to do it. So y'all, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I'm going to get ready to go pick up my bride from the airport. I thank y'all so much. We will be back tomorrow, Lord willing. I'm going to be on the morning. I'll be on A Righteous Perspective at 9 o'clock. We're going to be talking about some different topics and such like that. And tomorrow evening, I think it's going to be like 7 because I have to take care of some things at the high school with my second born. We'll come back on. We'll look at the dismissal and talk about that because it's supposed to come out tomorrow. Prayerfully, Lord willing, it'll be out tomorrow so we can actually discuss it. If not, then we'll do some body cams or something, right? Everybody, thank y'all so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much to the moderators. You all rock. Thank you so much, mods. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for the very kind super chats and such of that nature. Thank you for being a part of the best live chat. Scoot yourselves on over to the most electrifying comment section. Feel free to comment in the comments below. I really appreciate y'all. Everybody have a fantastic night. I'll see you real soon. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Whip Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.